him, you don't have a mid laner anymore, no buyback game's really hard. So I think the volatility of their 1-2 does lead to some issues, but against Na'Vi, they did kind of clean it up, and especially when their drafts were really enabling them just to kind of find their entry to the game properly.
Yeah, I think so too. Curious to hear from Team Spirit also how they feel like they're doing today, and we have an interview with Miposhka to talk about that.
Name is Yaroslav, nickname is Miposhka. I'm playing for Team Spirit. About our performance at ESL 1, I guess a lot of fans expected from us that we will do much better and we would win against Team Empire and NoTechies, obviously. But now we are kinda in sad situation, but every one of us feeling still fine. Just keep focusing on our games and trying to show our best. As a team, we are definitely confident right now, and I feel like that we still can beat every team and go to the slot to the major. This is gonna be our last game against Team Unique, and obviously we want to end our way with win.
He's able to find it. The Brad goes down there, allowing Vincere to buy some off himself, but the nuke damage there from Miposhka finishes V-Tune. They get the kill on General. They're going to be able to clean up Iceberg as well.
Yes, every one of my team really wants to go to the major because nobody of them didn't play some once or something. Personally, I also want to go to the major because I never was at major tournament by Valve. So we really motivated and believing that we will do it.
Wow. Small caveat there.
He did lose at a Valve tournament. TI 7, 7th, 8th, losing 2-0 to Liquid for Team Empire. But maybe he didn't lose confidence. That's what he's never lost his kind of mojo.
At the Manila Major too.
Yeah.
That was a Valve tournament.
It was a while ago, guys.
It was a long time ago.
It was a lifetime ago. And to be fair, if Team Spirit performed the way that they did against Na'Vi last Sunday, they'll definitely have a very, very good shot at making it to the major. But as Tigov pointed out, it's just a question about who is showing up, which type of not as a team, like which player is on the right day, and then you have to have all the players having a good day. And that's I mean, you can try to make that happen. The rituals maybe that are like standard for, I don't know how you do that. How do you do that?
Normal procedures, you know, wake up, play some pubs, have a scrim. A night you have to have a scrim before a series. Without scrim, you don't really get the kind of mojo going into the official. So early mornings kind of officials are always the worst because you don't get a scrim that early. But with this kind of afternoon game, always going to be good on that. Normally a best of one. If you're feeling a bit cheeky, go for a best of two. And then, just have a good team chat and understand your opponent. Make sure everyone understands the draft. Or
look, at the end of the day, Spirit's ceiling is pretty damn high. We've seen that throughout the tournament. They just have to be on the ball. I think with the stakes this high, we're not going to have an issue with them. I just really hope they have more of a balanced lineup. I like TORONTOTOKYO a lot more in the Death Prophet than I have as more playmaking.
Oh, he was so good on that Death Prophet.
Let him control the tempo. Leave yatoro to just play as Ursa, no AFK farm.
Yeah, let's focus on Unique, their opponent. They are also really, really want to win here because they have potential elimination on the line. If they don't win, they have to play in a tiebreaker versus Team Empire to decide who does not get to return for Division 1 next season. And Unique has been one of the teams that actually has got a lot of improvements over the last 6 weeks. One of the most improved teams, would you say, T?
Yes, up until the point where they played AS Monaco Gambit. I feel like they had a short straw going 0-3 to start the group stage. They kind of recovered, and that kind of gave kind of false hope in how good they actually were. But against Gambit, they kind of were a little bit outclassed.
Well, to be fair, that was also the reveal of no one.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
So, they were probably a bit outclassed.
But the key thing is I was looking at Unique as potentially being that third place team, and I was kind of looking at they had a rough start, but they really found something that clicked back in.
Yeah.
But then after seeing how Spirit played, how AS Monaco Gambit have played, Unique now kind of fall down that pecking order. They look like a strong 5th, 6th team, so for sure coming into the series, they need to win this to kind of solidify that in short upper division. But they haven't really given me the kind of confidence that they can come into this game as commanding as maybe Team Spirit.
Well, maybe Ghostik can give you a little bit more confidence with his interview.
Hello, my nickname is Ghostik. My name is Andrew. Good to see you guys. I think the beginning of this tournament was kinda shaky for us. We were struggling a lot. We didn't find our game at all. Tried a lot of strategies, but in the end of this tournament, like in the middle, I think even, we're on a good point right now. Our scrims going well. We were preparing very well also against the other team. So I think it's what I can call this tournament a way of improvement for our team. We as a whole team learned a lot for sure, because it was kind of a rough road for us, and when you're losing a lot, you're learning from these losses. You cannot learn a lot when you win a lot. I think playing against Team Spirit is kind of the same as versus Gambit, because we're still gonna come to this game with a cold head. We're gonna chill, enjoy some Dota, and doesn't matter against who we're playing. We're gonna just try our best. It's hard to say if it's gonna be tough, a rough game versus Team Spirit, or it's not. I think against any team, game could be hard to play, or it's gonna be easy to play. It's up to us. We will see.
We'll see. We'll need to see how Unique performs. I think what is the most important thing is, yes, we don't think that they are going to the major, or that they have the caliber, or they are not at the caliber yet where they should go to the major. But I think for Unique, especially important if they want to continue improving, Cal, you need to be in Division 1 to improve further if you're this type of squad.
Indeed, and I think more than that, it's like, how much more time do you need?
They got one more season.
Well, what I mean to say is, at this point in your career, right?
Yeah.
Ghostik's been an offlaner. He's been a Dota professional for how long? I've been following Palantimos since he was playing on the Romanian stack 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm like, damn, this kid's good. He might go somewhere. It's 4 years later now. It's not about being demoted or not. It's just that this team, if they're going to ever get to the level they want to be at, they can't be a squad dropping to the lower division, even right now.
That's true. It's maybe a little harsh also on how long you're playing and how good you are, because we've seen a lot of veterans being better every time they play. For example, Seb got, he won two TIs after he already retired, came coach, came talent, and then started playing again. He's still, and now he's considered to be top of the
It's a perfect example, because the first event he really played with OG, they won. It was TI. He didn't need 4 years of practice.
He needed decades of practice. Well, 1 decade in this case. You can't really say okay, Palantimos, he looked good 4 years ago, but why isn't he getting better? He just hasn't found his stride yet. He hasn't gotten his chance yet, and he just maybe waits for the right team. But you got to have good showing here, T. Otherwise, no good team's gonna pick you up.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is just in this region, the disparity between the number 1 team to everyone else is so different, right? It's like Virtus.pro and then the rest.
Yeah.
Even Na'Vi was going to maybe in that kind of second position, but not really. They're all so equal. And for Unique, I think all these teams that aren't on that VP level, they lack that kind of just understanding the game, where kind of going from a pub to a pro team, that takes understanding. Going from a pro team to tier 1, that's another level of understanding you can kind of unlock, and it doesn't come quickly. It does take years, unless you are just suddenly kind of born for it, think about all the captains in tier 1 teams. They've played for so long. So for this team, they kind of lack that kind of personality or just understanding to really push themselves further. So for this team, I think they have to be an upper division next season. Look at Empire, look at NoTechies. These are teams that kind of lack identity, but Unique, they've had times where they've shown that. Not saying they're tier 1, but they
have
deserve
the potential.
Exactly. They can take games off these upper teams. So that alone puts them in a good stead, and the way that system kind of plays out, they give them the time to maybe get to that point. But again, if second season, then the same position, then sure, lean on Kyle's point. Yeah. Had 2 seasons, maybe, but
maybe this is not it. But at the same time, I think these games for them and the division or season 2, same story. It's a little bit also maybe training grounds. Where other teams like Gambit, like Na'Vi, like VP will look at and like, hey,
who
can we get for
Gambit
maybe
has a lot of contracts right now
to show off how good the individuals are.
You know what?
Poached.
Ghostik is already part of Gambit.
That's true. He was loaned out. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then Dreams, there's so many loaned out
There are
players.
so many people loaned out by Gambit, but also, for example, look at VP and VP Prodigy. VP Prodigy became the VP. They got that chance. They got that opportunity, and everybody wants to be in the VP Prodigy because it's that gives you a chance, a start of getting to somewhere bigger.
Yeah, I mean, if you even look at the VP lineup right now, I don't think any of those players, this is the beauty of Dota, right? DM was on the top of the MMR charts for some time, but until this squad got together, none of these VP players were seen as anything, super special.
Yeah.
I mean, guess GPK was obviously the next big thing and everybody knew that, but the other guys had not really found success yet. But you combine these guys, you get a stability of an organization behind them, add a coach, enough time to prepare. I think I'm with it.
Well, I just praised VP Prodigy, and they just got eliminated from Division 2.
It takes time.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
and hey,
should they
you
just
know what?
disband to?
They got eliminated by the second squad of Gambit.
There you go.
So, there's, second squads.
Are they
Nice.
still going to be the second squad for the next season?
I don't know.
Well, they're still actually within low division. They're in two
They
different
were in
divisions.
lower
Sure.
two
Oh, yeah.
Why
divisions.
not?
It's possible.
We had a
Yeah.
second squad too. We pulled in. Yeah, we had to go to the bench. But I'm glad he's here.
He's talking about me. Hi. I'm the second division. Wait, what?
It's okay.
Well, you are a second division coach, so he's not wrong
That's
there.
Soon to be upper division.
Hey,
True.
maybe
Going
you
up
got
in the world.
tiebreakers.
Then I get to retire.
Yeah.
Upper division coach with.
You got to win first.
It's actually.
I'm just chatting.
And you're going to be on a plane. Your
I
team
know,
is
I
going to
know,
just be by itself.
For anyone watching, because obviously it's Eastern, we're talking about the Western Europe tournament. Something else. But yeah.
Something else. I heard that. Sorry. But yeah, no. With Gambit winning, that actually means that there's no tiebreakers in the lower division of the
all
Eastern
settled.
European DPC League. Yeah. It's one of the few
Puck
leagues.
Champ and Windstrike will be heading on up.
Yep.
Puck Champ looked pretty
Unfortunate to
fun.
Hellraisers. I know they'd worked hard. They were hoping to get a chance to get a tiebreaker. They had a rocky start.
Yeah.
Otherwise, maybe they'd have a.
And they're at boot camp as well. One of the few low division teams actually boot camping. So yeah, really unfortunate for them.
It's Hellraisers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the question is, I mean, Puck Champ is not an organization, right?
No,
Just to be
it's
sure.
not. It's a stack. It's a pretty nice, fun-looking stack, but potentially might be picked up by the likes of maybe someone else. But
I mean,
Gambit.
Well,
Empire.
Empire.
Yeah.
Because if Empire has their team eliminated, it would be Empire too.
No, but-
because you got one upper division, one lower
I
division.
will say, props to Empire. They have been one of the most honest orgs
That's
for the
true.
players.
That
They've
is true.
held the core of their team
That
for
is
so
true.
long. Like through the pretty much last 2 years, they've basically been supporting the tier 3.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
Western,
not the
Eastern
last
teams,
3 years even. It's also. It used
Ever.
to be that they were the training grounds for Navi,
Yeah,
dude.
for Navi,
Exactly.
and
How
the
about-
training grounds for Empire. That happened as
Shout
well.
out to Empire Scandal, the famous Razor mid,
Mm-hmm.
the Faye V, aka Blow Your Brain, the old school Dota 1 pros
Yeah.
who came over to the game. And then later, what was the next generation? Was Ghostik and's crew for a while too.
There's one in between that. Funnick that always
Oh, yeah.
went for the clinks.
Yep, a lot of Bat
A
Rider.
lot of
I
clinks.
just
a
like
lot
the
of
old
Batrider.
logo. That was that was the old logo.
Yeah.
When I first watching competitive Dota, it was always like Empire's the aggressive team.
Yeah.
And like
Like, no matter who's
yeah,
playing
yeah,
for it.
exactly. It's always Empire. So I'd
Yeah.
go to my friends like, oh guys, we need to play like Empire. They're the aggressive team. And I'm like 2K back then. Luckily, not 2K now, but you get the point. Oh,
Yeah.
they were the good days.
You got that account from that guy?
No. Kyle, please.
It does. By the way, we were talking about Empire like they're eliminated. They're not yet, because if Unique lose here, then Empire and Unique got to play a series to decide who's going to play in Division 2 and who's going to play in Division 1 next season. But with the lower division series being over, we are actually looking at lower division standings because they're done. Like this is as clear cut as you're gonna have it. Hellraisers, Gambit 2, Imperial Pro Gaming, and Hustlers all staying in Division 2 next season, and VP Prodigy and Bait eliminated.
Baits out.
Do want to point out that these two teams might make an appearance again if they make it through the qualifiers, because they will probably be trying if they stay together.
Yeah, for sure. And I think but the open qualifiers for the Eastern European division is so scary.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to Europe, Europe's pretty kind of open. Like if you have a strong stack, like there's a 5-up and kind of Tanner stack, Tanner from high school.
Yeah.
They're already doing pretty well. Like they're a team that would most likely win Europe qualifiers because there's no teams. But for Eastern Europe, there's at least 7 or 8 other teams
yeah.
that we can mention.
Consider you already have 2 teams disqualified and 1 team disbanded from the Europe lower.
Yeah.
Every CIS lower division team played it out. Like there's no messing around.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a stacked open, probably the most stacked outside of maybe China.
Yeah, I hope they don't get to play the second season actually.
What?
Like if you dip out of this season, they shouldn't be able to allow to play, right?
What do you mean? No. Well, if you dip out.
Yeah,
Oh,
so yeah,
you mean for Berjui and for Meta?
Yeah, sorry, I was touching on the other region as an idea.
So
'Cause, like,
in this scenario, I would say Meta4Pro does get a chance.
okay.
Because if they change players and the person that they think is the bad apple, they can replace it. They should get another chance. I don't think Berjui should.
No, yeah, I was gonna say because
Yeah.
with Eastern European, they stuck for
Wait, why?
the very end. So props to them.
What?
Why not?
Because they tried to force for whatever they forge
The
animal.
manager did it. You can't prove they were complicit.
Let's bin them all off. How dare they? Such a bad...
As counsel for the defense, I move to disqualify the
Guilty.
witness. She is
No,
prejudicing
wrong.
the jury
I'm not a witness.
against
Where's the
Berjui,
hammer?
my client.
There's the hammer. Go on, Shiva.
Where's my book? Otherwise, I can't smack
wait,
it.
wait.
Oh.
Yep, thank
Ow.
you.
You know,
Jury
no
rule.
one's seen that on.
Yeah, well, it
on
doesn't
this.
matter.
Oh, this is crossover again.
That's
All right, now
music material.
don't worry. We're gonna get our act together, and we're gonna do that during the break because we are gonna have a break, and when we're back, it is drafting time between Team Empire and Team Unique, and I don't think you're gonna be. Oh, you're gonna be.
you don't really ever have the ability. You don't Ghost deal more damage the closer you are. You rupture a DP, make him stand in place. Are you really still trying to walk up and hit him in the face? Like, it's not ideal. It's a natural Yule's Buyer to juke out the Blood Right.
Yeah, these are why Bloodseeker, especially when you draft it early, you don't want to be playing into heroes that like to stand still and take out their damage, right? Like Bristleback, Monkey King, Death Prophet, these heroes thrive in these type of engagements where this carry Bloodseeker, he wants to be able to run around the fight quickly and stick onto a target, kill them, move next. You know, he doesn't want to have to kite out the damage as well. Like, he doesn't do a lot of damage outside of that sustained clicking. So for sure, if Unique is able to put this Death Prophet into a core role, have a pretty good time. You just have to kind of play around each other now, hug each other when the fight starts.
Want to point out, burst.
Yeah.
For people wondering, it is Miroslav standing in for So Bad. Still, Flesh, once again. I mean, it's listed as a substitute, but I think we know what's...
Substitute?
Yeah, what's going on with the substitutes and the stand-ins around this time of the DPC League. So Miroslav playing on position 4.
I like the Ursa ban. That you asked, what do you pick for Yatoro Toronto? I think the Ursa is the perfect concept, especially with the Coddle, because you have that ability to be aggressive when desired, but when you don't know what to do, you just hit creeps.
They ban it out themselves, though. Why would they do that if it's the perfect hero for him?
That's a good point.
That's
Sorry, Kyle.
That's a very good point, Sheaves. I probably would not have done that, but it is...
Counterpoint. They realize they don't want him playing the Ursa. And it's like, you're suggesting it, boy. Bad suggestion.
That's true.
We'll ban
because if you get too aggressive, you use your ult too early, all of a sudden things can happen. Like we saw in that previous game yesterday on Dream League where... You know, Matamba Man was 24-0-12. Still died. Game still got a little difficult because ultimately you do get kited once your cooldowns are cooldowned.
Cooldown. I hate when the cooldowns are cooldowned. Ugh.
No, when they're cooldowned, they are available. What are you talking about? Your cooldown are still...
Is it? Can I leave the panel to go cast yet? Is it too early?
It's too early.
Sorry.
Even Owen is not there yet. Come on.
Well, I think with the Bloodseeker, you're mostly worried about burst. Like if they go like a Lion Ursa safe lane, something like that, you'd be really... It's not that the hero struggles against not only what stands still, but he also struggles because he's killing himself with his first spell. So if you're sitting at 3/4 health on a Bloodseeker, and at any point in the fight you're worried about losing 1,000 HP instantly, it just makes it impossible for you to ever deal out the damage you need to do.
Yeah, and it could also just be something to do with the lanes. It leads me to believe this is an off-lane Bloodseeker for Spirit, just because Ursa is one of the better heroes at dealing with him in the laning phase for obvious reasons. And I will say, based on what I've seen so far out of Unique, actually, I'm not even sure. Will they DP safe or support?
They have Ghostik playing DP most of the times, and actually in the DPC League for Unique, it has been only once has it been Pikachu. For the rest, it was Ghostik, and it was never Slayer.
Yeah.
Wow, they're already revealing that it's 100% an offlane Bloodseeker.
Or
support Wraith King.
That's right.
Got it.
Wait, what? No. There's only one team that tried doing that. That was Spider Pigs, and they disbanded like 4 days later.
That's fair.
let's not look at that, please.
Hear me out, though, guys. They nerfed Wraith King's Fire Blast cooldown. So they're putting it as a support roaming duo with the Coddle, who enables the cooldown of the Fire Blast.
Interesting.
Are you buying it yourself?
No. Oh, he isn't.
I'm still worried. I'm still thinking about if I'm convinced by myself here.
Okay.
And it does give Unique a pretty solid position in the draft, if you ask me. They already had a Tide. And you look at these Spirit heroes, none of them really like playing into Tide Hunter. And you consider as well the increased effective HP with the damage block, the shield on Void Spirit, the heal spam that can come after the Death Prophet. Spirit's damage is relatively single target and not really that powerful.
The key thing is the laning phase does feel a little bit lackluster. Of course, the Wraith King into Tide matchup, the idea of Bloodseeker in some lanes when he's still a core pick to come is difficult. But the pace in which they can set in the game with 1 or 2 items, they can, punish a bad exorcism or punish a bad Ravage. And right now with this Lifestealer pick, we have seen Lifestealer v Wraith King matchups pretty much the entirety of this tournament when it is picked. simply because of the 1v1 fight. But it does also ensure that Unique, they're not going to suddenly have this explosive timing where outside a laning phase, they're hitting you 4 or 5 heroes in the mid lane. You know, it's going to be an Exo, a Tide, and then Lifesteal is farming elsewhere. And that's where Spirit, all their heroes will happily come to a cheap engagement, take the fight and reset.
When he says exo, he means exorcism, by the way, people.
Thank you, Shiva. Yes.
You gotta do that more with, you know, with the
Exorcism.
Dragon's Blood
don't
and
know.
all that.
I mean,
I've never
upper
actually
division,
shortened it
though.
before. It kind of just happened.
Oh.
I never did
invigorated.
either, honestly. It's something you just like pick it up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
don't. It's not viewer friendly. Come on. We were trying to be viewer friendly.
Other thing, I feel like, I mean,
I also
I'll
like
take a
when I-
poll real quick, and I'll
Yeah.
check on my phone in a few
Go
minutes.
for it.
Okay.
Who knows? When we say Death Prophet Exo,
No. He didn't say
I
Death
just said
Prophet. He just said
exo.
exo.
who got that?
Everybody got that on hindsight.
Okay, if you did get it, and don't lie, one's in chat.
Yeah, but obviously they're all gonna lie.
Well, I don't think that. I think Twitch is very honest. They
No.
like speaking their opinion
Yes,
and saying
Twitch
it.
They are stand-up young lads.
Okay, and ladies, thank
DSJ
you,
would-
and
and
everything
ladies.
else as well.
The-
Kyle, actually, I have to let you go.
Okay.
At the moment, this is the cue. This is the getting ready for the cast. Don't worry, guys. You'll hear more Kyle in a bit. But first, the last couple of picks and bans coming out. Brian.
I just like this Lifestealer pick. I usually don't like it because, like T-Guff said, he doesn't really like to show up to those early engagements. He's like a dead lane hero where nobody on the enemy team really wants to walk up to him, but he kind of just stays in place, hitting like his first or second item timing. And my worry is whenever you have that type of hero that they just ignore you and pick on everybody else. But Tide should be pretty self-sufficient in his lane against Coddle Wraith King. I don't think Shadow Demon will be enough to bring him down. And then their team fight without him is very strong. And Bloodseeker is kind of meant to drive the carry out of lane. Like that's what the hero likes to do. And Lifestealer counters that entire concept. So I like what Team Unique's got going for him here. It's definitely their bread and butter with the Lifestealer. Not too many teams prioritize this hero this highly, but it can always change in the last pick. We've seen some absolute last picks like from Liquid the Broodmother. We've seen Razors that already got banned out that can drastically change the tide.
Ooh,
Right.
I like it.
For Team Unique right now, I think. All right, well, Spirit specifically are thinking that Unique is looking for a 4 position, of course, with the DP being most likely the 5, the Tide offlane, Void Spirit mid. I think some creativity here to open up the draft could be strong. If suddenly that DP's in the 5 role, you're putting Void mid, and wait, I just said the same thing twice.
Yeah, you did. I was confused.
I meant the Tide, sorry. So like we've seen
Yeah,
other teams
Tide
potentially run
support.
Tide. So that could be an option, but into Wraith King, realistically, you just want it to be the offlaner. I think what Brian said was pretty much, exactly what Unique's looking for. Lifestealer doesn't care about Bloodseeker or the pressure of a Wraith King, and Tide kind of covers the lack of that +1. And they do go for the line. Okay, so we're seeing the Lion
like it.
Tide. Yeah, classic combination. I think Alliance, obviously within Western Europe, kind of popularized this. It's very, very strong, and it gives them the damage that they need, but their damage is always going to be around the cooldowns. Do you have Exorcism on Death Prophet or Ravage or Finger? If you don't, suddenly your fight isn't going to be as strong as the likes of Spirit if they're overwhelming you. But it is a very strong lineup.
What do you feel like Team Spirit is lacking then? Like they need something from their mid that can do decent enough against Void Spirit. Monkey King is still in the pool, but I don't know if that is really like what does TORONTOTOKYO play in this case? Because they really targeted him. Oh, actually, Monkey King is not in the pool. They targeted TORONTOTOKYO almost entirely.
It's pretty much like only Ember Spirit, or like that's pretty much the only option I see here now, especially into the matchup into Void Spirit. It's very 50-50 skill based, but a hero that kind of connects the dots for Spirit. Like your side lanes, okay, they go for Wind Runner.
Wind Ranger, yeah.
I like the Wind Ranger
Sure.
personally. I don't think it's necessarily going to convince me that their draft is better. But I looked at their draft and said they have some real single target damage issues. Like they can't really bring down this Tide. They can't bring down the Lifestealer in the early to mid game. So they needed somebody who buys early damage and maybe focus fires them down. Is what they're believing here. So I still like Team Unique's draft better. I think it's a little more well-rounded, but this Wind Ranger pick could really throw a wrench in the equation where they get some early kills on the Lifestealer that he wasn't expecting. So I think that's their win condition is using that first Javelin timing to get 2 crucial kills on the side of Team Spirit.
Yeah, I think the key thing is Spirit identified the fact that Unique are basically drafting lane existers where they will just happily play out their lane. They're not going to suddenly pressure objectives too quickly. And Wind Runner as a hero, it's so bad. if you're ran at, if you have pressure on the map, if you're the one who's able to poke and kind of force out rotations, you get Maelstrom, BKB Ags, your game's really good. Lifestealer has to itemize for this single target kind of duel that will occur. So I think, yeah, Unique, that last pick was very, very strong from them, especially with this run from Spirit. But the idea of it really is based on the fact that Unique is just waiting to react and fight. And if Spirit overplay their hand, that we've seen TORONTOTOKYO do, that's where they can fall into the trap, die a couple times, game's different. But it's offense v defense right now with these two drafts.
Who do you have for this first game, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going Spirit. I think it's very specific situation. Unique needs to win this game.
All right.
Or reversed. Reverse that. Reverse
You
that. I'm
think
confused 'cause I see
Unique
the teams
win
at the bottom.
with the Lifestealer Tidehunter?
Yes, Unique with the Life Stealer. They need the Wind Ranger to get that specific timing to win, but they can't.
The Wind Ranger's not in the Tide team. Doesn't matter. Thank you, Brian.
Bamboozling stuff, honestly. Oh, crazy. But no, yeah, I think, this Winona pick, very solid. It's one of the few times where it's kind of got a niche reason for the game. And I think that alone should give it a very solid game and be able to win this if you don't run head-on into a Tidehunter.
Well, let's see what's happening in game number 1 between Team Spirit and Unique. It is time to hear from our commentary duo. It is Odie Pixel and Kyle.
Thank you very much, GVS. Game 1 here, ready to go between Spirit and Unique. Kyle, we had some of your thoughts earlier in the draft. Now that you've seen it all laid out, what would you sort of expect coming into this one? Do you think a team has got...
Radiant team ban.
Like if they go like a Lion Ursa safe lane, something like that, you'd be really... It's not that the hero struggles against not only what stands still, but he also struggles because he's killing himself with his first spell. So if you're sitting at 3/4 health on a Bloodseeker, and at any point in the fight you're worried about losing 1,000 HP instantly, it just makes it impossible for you to ever deal out the damage you need to do.
Remaining.
Yeah, and it could also just be something to do with the lanes. It leads me to believe this is an off-lane Bloodseeker for Spirit, just because Ursa is one of the better heroes at dealing with him in the laning phase for obvious reasons. And I will say, based on what I've seen so far out of Unique, actually, I'm not even sure. Will they DP safe or
they have Ghostik playing DP most of the times, and actually in the DPC league for Unique, it has been only once has it been Pikachu. For the rest, it was Ghostik, and it was never Slayer.
Yeah.
Wow, they're already revealing that it's 100% an offlane Bloodseeker.
Or
support Wraith King.
That's right.
No.
Got it.
Wait, what? No. There's only one team that tried doing that. That was Spider Pigs, and they disbanded like 4 days later.
That's fair.
let's not look at that, please.
Hear me out, though, guys. They nerfed Wraith King's Fire Blast cooldown. So they're putting it as a support roaming duo with the Coddle, who enables cooldown of the Fire Blast.
Interesting.
Are you buying it yourself?
No. Reason.
I'm still worried. I'm still thinking about if I'm convinced by myself here.
Okay.
And it does give Unique a pretty solid position in the draft, if you ask me. They already had a Tide. And you look at these Spirit heroes, none of them really like playing into Tidehunter. And you consider as well the increased effective HP with the damage block, the shield on Void Spirit, the heal spam that can come out from the Death Prophet. Spirit's damage is relatively single target and not really that powerful.
The key thing is the laning phase does feel a little bit lackluster. Of course, the Wraith King into Tide matchup, the idea of Bloodseeker in some lanes when he's still a core pick to come is difficult. But the pace in which they can set in the game with 1 or 2 items, they can, punish a bad Exorcism or punish a bad Ravage. And right now with this Lifestealer pick, we have seen Lifestealer v Wraith King matchups pretty much the entirety of this tournament when it is picked, simply because of the 1v1 fight. But it does also ensure that Unique, they're not going to suddenly have this explosive timing where outside a laning phase, they're hitting you 4 or 5 heroes in the mid lane. It's going to be an Exo, a Tide, and then Lifestealer farming elsewhere. And that's where Spirit, all their heroes will happily come to a cheap engagement, take the fight and reset.
When he says ecto, he means exorcism, by the way, people.
Thank you, Shiva. Yes.
You got to do that more with, with the Dragon's Blood and all that.
I've never actually shortened it before. It kind of just happened.
I never did either, honestly. It's something you just pick it up.
Yeah, but don't.
10 seconds
Not
remaining.
viewer friendly, come on. We're trying to be viewer friendly.
Other thing, I feel like,
5
I mean,
seconds
I also
I'll
like
take a
on it.
poll real quick, and I'll
Yeah.
check on my phone in a few
Go
minutes.
for it.
Okay.
Who knows? When we say Death Prophet EXO,
No, he didn't say
I
that.
just said
He just said
EXO.
EXO.
who got that?
Everybody got that on hindsight.
Okay, if you did get it, and don't lie, one's in chat.
Yeah, but obviously they're all gonna lie.
Well, I don't think that. I think Twitch is very honest. They
No.
like speaking their opinion
Yes,
and saying it.
Twitch
out
they-
loud.
They are stand-up young
10
lads.
seconds.
Okay, and ladies, thank
DSJ
you,
would-
and
and
everything
ladies.
else as well.
The-
Kyle, actually, I have to let you go.
Okay.
At the moment, this is the cue. This is the getting ready for the cast. Don't worry, guys. You'll hear more Kyle in a bit. But first, the last couple of picks and bans coming out. Brian.
I just like this Lifestealer pick. I usually don't like it because, like T-Guff said, he doesn't really like to show up to those early engagements. He's like a dead lane hero where nobody on the enemy team really wants to
5
walk up to him,
seconds
but he
remaining.
kind of just stays in place, hitting like his first or second item timing. And my worry is whenever you have that type of hero that they just ignore you and pick on everybody else. But Tide should be pretty self-sufficient in his lane against Coddle Wraith King. I don't think Shadow Demon will be enough to bring him down. And then their team fight without him is very strong. And Bloodseeker is kind of meant to drive the carry out of lane. Like that's what the hero likes to do. And Lifestealer counters that entire concept. So I like what Team Unique's got going for him here. It's definitely their bread and butter with the Lifestealer. Not too many teams prioritize this hero this highly, but it can always change in the last pick. We've seen some absolute last picks like from Liquid the Broodmother. We've seen Razors that already got banned out
Radiant team
that can
pick.
drastically change the tide.
Ooh,
Right.
I like it.
For Team Unique right now, I think. Right, well, Spirit specifically are thinking that Unique is looking for a forward position. Of course, with the DP being most likely the 5, the Tide offlane, Void Spirit mid. I think some creativity
10
here to open up the
seconds
draft could be strong. If suddenly that DP's in the 5 role, you're putting Void mid.
5 seconds.
Wait, I just said the same
remaining.
thing twice.
Yeah, you did. I was confused.
I meant the Tide, sorry. So like we've seen
Yeah,
other teams
Tide
potentially run
support.
Tide. So that could be an option, but into rating, realistically, you just want it to be the offlaner. I think what Brian said was pretty much, exactly what Unique's looking for. Lifestealer doesn't care about Bloodseeker or the pressure of a Wraith King, and Tide kind of covers the lack of that +1. And they do go for the line. Okay, so we're seeing the line
like it.
Tide. Yeah, classic combination. I think Alliance, obviously within Western Europe, kind of popularized this. It's very, very strong, and it gives them the damage that they need, but their damage is always going to be around the cooldowns. Do you have Exorcism on Death
10
Prophet or
seconds
Ravage or
remaining.
Finger? If you don't, suddenly your fight isn't going to be as
5
strong as the likes of
seconds
Spirit if they're
remaining.
overwhelming you. But it is a very strong lineup.
What do you feel like Team Spirit is lacking then? Like they need something from their mid that can do decent enough against Void Spirit. Monkey King is still in the pool, but I don't know if that is really like what does TORONTOTOKYO play in this case? Because they really targeted him. Oh, actually, Monkey King is not in the pool. They targeted TORONTOTOKYO almost entirely.
It's pretty much like only Ember Spirit, or like that's pretty much the only option I see here now, especially into the matchup into Void Spirit. It's very 50-50 skill based. But a hero that kind of connects the dots for Spirit. Like your side lanes, okay, go for a win runner.
I like the Wind Ranger personally. I don't think it's necessarily convinced me that their draft is better. But I looked at their draft and said they have some real single target damage issues. Like they can't really bring down this Tide. They can't bring down the Lifestealer in the early to mid game. So they needed somebody who buys early damage and maybe focus fires them down is what they're believing here. So I still like Team Unique's draft better. I think it's a little more well-rounded, but this Wind Ranger pick could really throw a wrench in the equation where they get some early kills on the Lifestealer that he wasn't expecting. So I think that's their win condition is using that first Javelin timing to get 2 crucial kills on the side of Team Spirit.
Yeah, I think the key thing is Spirit identified the fact that Unique are basically drafting lane existers where they will just happily play out their lane.
5
They're not going to
seconds
suddenly
remaining.
pressure objectives too quickly. And Windrun as a hero, it's so bad if you're Rana, if you have pressure on the map. If you're the one who's able to poke and kind of force out rotations, you get Maelstrom, BKB Ags, your game's really good. Lifestealer has to itemize for this single target kind of duel that will occur. So I think, Unique, that last pick was very, very strong from them, especially with this Windrunner, from Spirit. But the idea of it really is based on the fact that Unique is just waiting to react and fight. And if Spirit overplay their hand, that we've seen TORONTOTOKYO do, that's where they can fall into the trap, die a couple times, game's different. But it's offense v defense right now with these 2 drafts.
Who do you have for this first game, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going Spirit. I think it's very specific situation Unique needs to win this game.
All right.
Or reversed. Reverse that. Reverse
You
that. I'm
think
confused 'cause I see
Unique
the teams at
win
the
with
bottom.
the Life Stealer Tidehunter?
Yes, Unique with the
Yeah.
Life Stealer. They need the Wind Ranger to get that specific timing to win, but they can't.
The Wind Ranger's not in the Tide team. Doesn't matter. Thank you, bro.
Bamboozling stuff, honestly. Oh, crazy. But no, yeah, I think this win on a pick, very solid. It's one of the few times where it's kind of got a niche reason for the game. And I think that alone should give it a very solid game and be able to win this if you don't run head on into a Tidehunter.
Well, let's see what's happening in game number 1 between Team Spirit and Unique. It is time to hear from our commentary duo. It is Odie Pixel.
Thank you very much, GVS. Game 1 here, ready to go between Spirit and Unique. Kyle, we had some of your thoughts earlier in the draft. Now that you've seen it all laid out, what would you sort of expect coming into this one? Do you think a team has got the upper hand here off the back of the drafting?
I think it's one of the more even ones that we've witnessed thus far. It'll come down to play. Spirit's pretty much all in on a lot of the single target, but Wind Ranger is this X factor. You get your ulti channeled on somebody with a bit of an item advantage. Doesn't matter who it is, which core on the side of Unique, they're gonna die, and that always frightens me. This hero is one of the few that I've never really been able to understand. You know, you consider Liquid or now Enigma, but they're first twoing Wind Ranger in some games. It's like, oh my god, what this is? Weeha, he's unstoppable, and then other times it looks terrible, and it ends up with a 4 positions network.
I mean, what do you feel that you're seeing it do more? Like, is it a hero that is impressing you more often, or is it a hero that's sort of being a bit of a letdown?
I think it's been better more often than not. Yeah, I mean, the game Alliance played it as an example and made it look fantastic. And whenever you're playing against a Life Stealer, I think it's always going to have a place and a purpose. You force him to have an MKB, which isn't something you really want to grab too early on. And in addition, you have this perfect kind of game for it where both your offlaner and, well, your carry specifically, Toro and that Wraith King, will cover you. They're going to scale. So you can just go for the single target assassin build. Do your best Michael Fassbender impression.
Let's see. The matchups as well. I mean, they had a pretty good inkling that it was going to be the Void Spirit in the mid. This is sort of a matchup where TORONTOTOKYO is going to be totally fine, and he is going to have that opportunity to get that first, fast item timing that the panel was talking about to have that impact.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm a little surprised that the Death Prophet is playing as a 4 position in this game. We haven't really seen that at all. Oh no, sorry, it's 5. What am I saying? There's both supports up top. I was confused for a moment.
They're just running the aggro for now. Okay, Slayer's now going to go down and join Palantimos here in the safe lane. So yeah, no, don't worry. It's still going to be the 5. It's going to be the 5.
It's just still an underrated hero, I think. We've seen it first toot a lot more often, but I think it's going to start getting opening banned a little more often as well. But it's just kind of, I guess maybe not really, because it's just a good hero, you know? It's a lot like Puck of the pre-nerf, but I think Puck gave you a little more, I guess, just more reliability, if you think about it in the draft. Like, even support Puck, right? I have Coil. I can buy an Ags. Now I have Super Coil. And you counter this mechanic, BKB, which is just... What other items, How do you deal with BKB? It's like, oh, I'll buy an Abyssal Blade, whereas in Dota 2, certain heroes just have Aghanim Scepters that completely changes the dynamics of the game.
So what is it about DP in your mind that does make it viable as a 5, as we're seeing teams run it?
The ultimate, right?
That's the big thing.
It's XP-based damage output. We've seen 5 supports run mid, level 6, level 7. They end up doing the most damage in the team fight. You end the game with the most tower damage dealt. It's a pretty powerful input you can get from just your 5. Compare that to... I'm trying to think of a... there's really no useless 5s anymore. Not like the old days where, no one's picking Lich.
Well, we did have some Lich, I think, early in this Eastern European division. Sure. But you're right, not a lot.
I guess it's
there's definitely some... Useless. I mean, there are some 5s that you'll never see. I mean, when was the last time you saw Dazzle pick?
True.
That hero is kind of totally out of it right now.
Yeah. Like, I'm a big Jakiro fan, as an example, but the problem is you just need too many levels. Whereas Death Prophet, you go like 2-1-2, 2-0-3, have ultimate skilled at 6, and it's like, holy crap, this is core of damage and sustain, and you have no items but raindrops, wand, and boots. But yeah. Anyway, check out the lanes. Mid is the one I really want to key in on. I think TORONTOTOKYO should come out ahead, but it is Void Spirit. You pretty much trade with anybody, but I've got a lot of faith in Pikachu. that one of these days he'll have the same success that his twin brother has found, Navi. But to get there, they would certainly need to win this match and make sure they stay Division 1.
What you'd say out of the mids, you feel that there's more potential in Pikachu than there is in Toronto-Tokyo in the future? Like, if you're seeing sort of a year from now, if you had to call one of these mids you're seeing and sort of in the upper division still and staying at the top, which would it be?
Hard to say, because it's not about individual skill once you reach this level.
Yeah.
More about how you grow as a player and your concepts and how smart you are as a Dota player. Like, I'll use Nisha and Topson as like shiny examples. These guys are good at not just one style of hero, and that's the problem with both these guys. But I would say more specifically Toronto-Tokyo, you know, his Storm, his Ember, all of his spirits,
his Death Prophet,
his Wind Ranger.
That's what they're winning games with.
But they're all the same concept. They all do the same thing. I guess DP would be a bit more unique, but that's one of the most understood mid-heroes to like play around as a team and to lead a game. It's like, oh, ult's up. Guess let's smoke. Let's go make a move. It gets more complicated when you're playing stuff like Clinks or Invoke.
See, so far in the laning stage, I mean, both carries at the moment having a bit of a struggle finding the farm in their safe lane. Which is certainly there from both sides. Offlaners, in fact, they're the two heroes that are getting the most out of this laning stage at the moment. Bloodseeker and Tide. Zoro this time, he's got the Fairy Fire, but Bignum, he needs one more hit. Could he find it? He drops the ward down. Yatoro's trying to juke. He's got a salve going. And that, the stun's going to connect. Bignum, he's able to turn with Ghostik and get the kill. Bignum will fall, but a very worthy trade there for Unique. Not only taking down Yatoro, but of course getting him after he did attempt to live with a salve used.
And they refresh my memory. They picked Tide into the Wraith King, right? It wasn't Wraith King into Tide.
So I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the last pick Wind Ranger. Yeah. So
yeah, the Tide was third pick. I remember that.
Yeah, this is why T-Gov reacted the way he did, because you effectively lose your safe lane the moment you pick Wraith King. You already have the coddle there, so unless you're willing to flex that out and pick a much stronger 5, you're going to be in trouble. And, Lion isn't really the strongest 4th position either, so you consider that mid lane, you also had the counter pick. Set up for a really nice laning phase here for Spirit. In fact, they lead, not Spirit, but Unique, and I wouldn't say they're... How is bottom? These lanes don't make sense to me. I would not expect bottom to be going this poorly as well for Unique. It's close, sure, but you typically would think Lifestealer would win this lane handily. Trading with Bloodseeker.
Well, I mean, I see what you mean. What you feel that he would have more farm out of this setup than Collapse would.
Yeah,
it's Collapse trying to go on him every time, just laying down the blood right. They can't dive any further.
It's also because Palantimos just went straight for this chainmail, whereas Collapse went for an urn, which obviously with no charges isn't really helping out too much. I guess I underrate the SD4, right? So this picked up by a couple teams in Europe upper division as well. Just a ton of poison spam. It's really annoying to deal with. And you got any stacks up? Not quite yet.
All in all, the close early game. The mid lane matchup, very even. Pikachu and Toronto-Tokyo. As Pikachu, he's going to make that first move. He's got an Invis rune, and he's heading straight for this top lane. Obviously, the information's been shared that he's away from mid. So Spirit are keeping themselves pretty safe and close to the tower. And looks like Pikachu won't find an opportunity to jump them there.
I really like this move, though. The downside of Wraith King now is you're much weaker in the early game. So, hold up. Nope.
Or maybe. And he's going to pop that rage. And we'll be able to dive in underneath the tower and get himself the kill.
I keep forgetting that gives a move. It's so weird when these ancient concepts are just a bit... Same with, Epicenter. Every time Sand King starts channeling, I'm like, oh, care. But then he walks away. And I'm done. I like that they rotate to top, though. This is the downside of it. Just run it as lane. And at this point, level 4... No real skeleton charges. I mean, you can't rotate out, right? So if you pressure Yatoro, and we already know how greedy Yatoro really likes to play Dota 2, there's not really a way to recover. Tidehunter is going to be able to pressure this lane by himself pretty soon. He's huge, actually. Oh my god, this is a disaster.
I mean, Ghostik's got complete free farm. And with the Urn and the Morbid Marsh, you can't harass him out of lane. This level 3 Anchor Smash with the lifesteal from the Mask it's just going to give him so much HP back every single time. He's going to be just sat in this lane, constantly at full HP.
Radiant's
just not a target, really, that's going to be gankable at all this early when you consider the heroes that Spirit have.
No, definitely not. I mean, Unique, yeah, off to a great start. They're going the farming build on Pikachu as well for the max to simulate. You got a nice stack. I'd love to see Bignum. In fact, if he'd done it once or twice already, I'd be really happy. But if he does it now, stack the Ancients. You know, your Tide doesn't need you. He's farming alone. So unless you're going to go ward or find kills immediately, every Ancient stack represents a hero kill.
They might find the kill here. Let's see Miposhka. Just speedy enough with the movements. They are unable to find him in that tree line.
So you could get the kill there, or take the higher EV play and stack Ancients. It gives the same gold and XP. I would also not mind if he ventured into the area of the map that Yatoro is farming. You've shoved him out of lane. Go drop a sentry in a camp. Those last forever nowadays. Maybe just annoy him. Like, trade your doing nothing for the enemy carries doing nothing whenever possible. But Pikachu is actually stacking for himself instead, although he might let Ghostik take. We shall see. And bottom, still really nothing doing. Both cores now with phase boots, ports smacking each other. Really peaceful game so far. No violence.
No. 2 for 1 here. 8 minutes in. See down bottom and attempt it from Spirit, but nothing more than just a disruption. I won't dive in on that. Yatoro at least find himself the possessed mask. That'll help him stay even safer in the jungle as he tries to play the catch-up game after to deal with a bit of a tough lane here against Ghostik.
I don't want to harp on it too much. The last time I mentioned it, if Insania was watching this, he'd be very upset with Taiga. He'd say, "You're rank 1. Look at you. You're running in circles. Why are my Ancients being stacked? What are we doing here? We're standing here to help my Tide, like, threaten a coddle." But realistically, even if Ghostik dies, how many heroes is it going to take? 3, 4? You're fine with that. I guess you'll secure tower, sure, but I do feel Pikachu could have done this by himself. They will give Slayer the XP mid, though, which is quite nice. He's saving a point. Big fan, just in case he might need the silence. If he gets 6, then it's a real easy rotation towards mid, because you combine this level or 5 position Death Prophet with a super farm Tide, Ravage DPL. Like, how are you going to contest a mid tower push? What, is Wraith King going to show up?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's absolutely. It's if he turns up, he's going to go down for sure. We'll see if they do head over and try and push him. Javelin out and Arcane Rune ready on Toronto-Tokyo. See if he can find any opportunities to go for a kill, go for a pickoff. But the way things are at the moment, Unique aren't going to be the easiest team to catch off guard as they seem to be prepared and indeed do start to sweep over towards the other lanes to start getting pressure on these other tier 1 towers.
Just not it. I'm just not a huge fan of the way Unique is moving around the map. This is I
mean, they're going for a... What do you mean? Like, the Tide's gone bottom? He wants to push the tier 1 bottom right?
No, you want mid. You walk mid. Yeah, TP to save it if necessary, but you really shouldn't be... You're taking your strongest hero out of the most valuable part of the map.
But there's farm to be had bottom, or is it just not...
It's just not a... This is like, you're playing poker. You flop the full house and you don't bet. You almost always have a higher EV, you bet, right? In this game, you have Ravage, you're about to get DP ultimate. You know, what if there's a Tide Hunter running it at the Wind Ranger? Toronto-Tokyo can't make this. He shouldn't be allowed to get the 10-minute rune. Like, you are stronger. The Wraith King is not a hero in this game. He's just farming an easy camp. Miposhka is doing the same and running around stacking. Bloodseeker is not too much of a threat. He was showing in lane until just recently. Just go get aggro, you know? Make your presence known.
I mean, what do you think they are scared of about that's stopping them from going for the play mid and just continuing to play the farm game split up?
It's potentially not in their ideology for the, you know, it's at times it's easy for me, right? We're watching, we see the net worth, we see the last hits, we recognize how punished Yatoro got in the laning phase. You don't have that luxury when you're in the game. You don't have that understanding necessarily of just how far ahead you are. And in this case, they're not even ahead in goal. It's more of how their heroes function and the fact that they have these cooldowns available. Death Prophet is about to hit 6. Whoever gets Tome, Lion, he'll be 6 as well. They have Ravage. Like, that's insane. how do you contest that with anything? You know, yatoro or Toronto rather, he's got 1,000 health.
I mean, and how accurate do you think for pro players that their sort of sense of where a game is in general? Like back when you were playing and, you know, you played a game, you go back, you watch the replay, and you start to see the numbers and how every hero was actually doing at each moment in time. Are you ever like, oh, wow, well, we didn't expect that we destroyed that guy as much as he had. Well, we thought he was actually, they were ahead of us. You know, are you normally pretty on, you know, accurate with how you're reading a game when you're actually in there playing it?
It happens sometimes. You're like, you don't realize just how well you were doing.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a feeling, you know, and that's why you'll see a lot of these teams discuss how their carry players take over shot calling around 20, 25 minutes into the game, because it's when they feel strong. They look around the map, they think, what kills me, right? They get that BKB time, and they're like, yeah, until this puck has ags, there's nothing that can stop me. Like, let's go. I wanna be in enemy territory immediately. But there's a good quote by Seb about how he felt that the net worth graph that we're looking at on the top of the screen actually hurt the layman's understanding of Dota, because
absolutely in I don't know if I'd say the majority of games, but definitely in a significant amount, it can definitely be. It doesn't mean a whole lot.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean a lot.
And that's what I mean. So this game, Spirit's ahead on gold. They're not ahead in terms of who's strong right now. Sure. And that's what's missing. So if you look at the way OG plays, if you ever you get Fear drunk and talk to him, they'll always discuss timings. When is this draft? When is this hero supposed to get things done? That's what they play around. It has nothing to do with does the Wind Ranger have 500 extra gold or not. It's is my team strong? Can we use the Ravage? Can we use the DP ult? I remember Fear just discussing like estimating when he'd be at Necro 3 timing 6 minutes into the game, and he'd be like, yeah, it's going to be faster. I think we'll get it by 17. Like, all the timing. Nice chew.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, so you have your strongest hero on map currently hiding behind tower. Looks like they may look to make a move, but Slayer is also going to rotate down here. Trouble is, TORONTOTOKYO, Spirit's strongest hero, he's doing his job. He is camping on enemy mid-hill and just applying as much pressure as possible, daring anybody to try and run at him. I think we're going to get the hell out of bottom. Or not.
Now they're going to jump in onto Mirror. Might have a little bit of time with the disruption, but he is definitely dead.
Check out his network, though, Owen.
I had no reason to
sure. What, in the sense that it's not worth a lot, that kill?
4-man rotation to your own safe lane. Meanwhile, top is being pushed out.
Mid as well. Look at the tower.
Yeah.
Getting some hits in here, TORONTOTOKYO, as he brings it down very low there with that space he was given mid.
I would trade my life as a last net worth support for 1,000+ damage on the mid tower. Think that trade all day. And up top, the Lifestealer is a bit ahead of this Wraith King, but they're trading. You know,
and he's catching up, right? Yeah. He had a tough start. You know, and if at this stage he's only 200 behind the Lifestealer, I think he's going to be pretty happy with him.
He's catching Ghostik. Now, Ghostik had him doubled up at a point.
Or maybe, what could they be waiting for here? Has Ghostik got another big item coming? I mean, he's farming up the Blink Dagger, right? So, could be the cool there, you know, saying 1,400 gold in. He wants to wait for that.
It's unfortunately a common cold of next item syndrome.
Oh, hell yes.
Devastating chances of the game having a productive day. I hope that they utilize it well, but you're getting to a point. Toronto, yeah, of course. Queued up BKB. So this is the big relationship, right? You will get this blink on Tide, but then the Wind Ranger will have a BKB to counteract it, and suddenly you're in trouble. But if you use that window well, you win a big team fight, you get mid-tower, you get Roche, but I'm just still in shock that Team Unique have not done anything to this mid-tower or user Ravage. I mean, they're just content to farm.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they do just feel, well, we've got this with this lifesteal. As long as we're able to secure our half of the map, make sure the Palantimos can farm wherever he wants to, he's going to be able to carry this game. We don't need to try making aggressive moves early on. But you feel from this perspective, you see this game and you feel that, the net worth is still very even, but Unique, they should have had it in them to be able to take a little bit more objective-wise and begin to get an early lead this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to keep twisting the knife, honestly. We'll see how the game plays out.
Sure, because their idea is obviously very different to yours, right?
Yeah,
what they want to do with their drafting.
To your point, they're happy. So they are not reading the game the same way at all. They're saying, all right, Ghostik's keeping our bot tower alive. Yeah. We're free farming our life stealer. Maybe mid's a bit tough. They made a little bit of a screw up there over rotating to give Toronto so much time on that tower. But yeah, we're just chilling. We're farming.
I mean, everyone is. It's 14 minutes in, just 3 for 2. Just one of those slow burners here. So
I want to make sure they stack ancients, though. That's key. We see this. Yatoro, was that a 4 stack? Yep, 4 or 3. Unfortunately, I have only seen 1 stack on the Radiant Ancient so far this game, but they've got Blink, they have Ravage. Now it is go time. Bounty spawn in 20 seconds as well.
Are scanning.
Ghost out.
Radiant
tower started forward. Steer Spirit do try and defend this tower. As you say, Unique's fight around this point is going to be very strong. Ghostik's going to jump over the side there, in onto Mirror. The Shadow Demon. Want more out of this Unique, at least to find the tower as well as the SD kill. Over to the side, they're chasing for Collapse. The Yules into Remnant. Stick setting up with the Gush. They've got the stun. Now burst in with the finger. Collapse will get taken out. So do manage to find that core kill.
Money changes hands.
And they'll get 2 bounties, 3 bounties. They don't get the mid-tower, but yeah, we'll take that. 2 kills, 1 on a core. Steal enemy ancients.
And they didn't have to use Ravage.
The trouble is, once you use the DP ult, even though it is a support, it becomes a lot more difficult to just hit on the tower. All 3 of their cores are melee. None really do much structure damage. Lifestealer will at a point, but it's not so simple for them to take objectives. It's another reason I like the DP5. It's a lot like Rasta when it used to be picked there in that position. Just kind of guarantees you have the ability to break towers. Oh, is he just dead?
Yeah, on him. Are they going to be able to kill the win rate? They will, but they've lost the top. They're going to lose both of them here, as both Ghostik and Slayer go down, and that, sure they get the Wind Ranger, but Ravage obviously being used in an attempt to save his life, and it didn't work out. It didn't save it.
That was really strange, though. I thought TORONTOTOKYO could live for sure. He didn't run away. He kind of circled, and also didn't try to sip his bottle in between ticks of that urn. You can see here.
He was siphoned as well, though. I think in the end.
Radiant's bottom.
Yeah, but watch, he doesn't run away. He
kind of curves in. Yeah. That was still a good fight for Spirit, even with the loss of the Wind Ranger.
We're gonna get mid tower though, thanks to these skeletons.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Just to be safe, it does restore. Another reason I think the game's got a lot more passive is I didn't really realize how good it felt until I played a bunch of Dota while I've been here, but 3 armor and 1 health regen under tier 1s. Look, click on the tower. That's so much space. If you have lane control, extra 3 armor is like 12% more physical damage reduction.
So
even just trading hits is insane. And then tier 2s, no wonder they're so hard to take, because it's 5 armor. 5 armor. It's like a free 600 gold for everybody on your team. Yeah, I digress. Well done, though, by Spirit, though. They're keeping their mid-tower alive. Both sides, putting enough emphasis on the mid-tower. From a defensive stature, at least, I would have preferred either one of these teams a little more aggro. You're going to have an AC completed quite soon on Yatoro. That might be a nice timing for Spirit, but I think that if there's anybody in this game that can afford to be passive, it's actually this Dire team, especially with the Coddle as well. That Ag's quite devastating later portions of this game.
Yeah, for sure. I think you look at the 3 cores of Spirit, I'd say there's definitely more scaling potential in those than the Unique in the lane. You have these 3 heroes that can effectively pack the punch. They're all going to be able to right-click down heroes in drawn-out team fights for the later stages.
So far, so good. I'm not going to bring up Radiant Ancients. Don't let me bring up Radiant Ancients again.
Well, there's still no stacks.
No stacks, and no one's really farming them either. Now it's going to Palantimos. There we go.
Can he get a stack going?
No, he's just going to farm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. It's really just kind of how I feel the Tide had to be played, right? You can collapse the mid tower, cool with that, get it early, use a Ravage, or you retreat to your Ancients and take like a 5 stack. And it's like, oh my god, this Tide Blink Dagger's online like 5 minutes faster.
We haven't seen too many opportunities for Ghostik to really make plays with the Blink. Drop the Demonic Purge on him mid. Still rather tanky, so Spirit can't chase up to the high ground for that.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So far, so good. I mean, both teams just chilling. It's all vibes right now. Man, it makes sense, though. A lot on the line here. Unique trying to ensure that they can guarantee they won't be relegated. Team Spirit guarantee they have a tiebreaker to go to the major. So certainly I'd say more on the line for them in a sense, just because getting to the major, you know, after a year, more than a year without a DPC event, you know, that's got to be the best teams in the world to play for 2 weeks.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Try
attack.
to even more DPC points.
Dire
Comes
are
up.
scared.
He's in. Drops the Ravage down. He's able to catch on to the two of them. They blow a mirror with the finger. Now they turn their attention over towards yatoro. Yatoro with the armor, keeping himself alive. He's actually able to topple again. He's keeping his life protected. They just turn on the Palantimos with the focus fire. Yatoro, he'll go down the walls. BKB up on the Wind Rangers. TORONTOTOKYO's able to keep going. They turn with another shackle. Connects the Lifestealer over towards the Void Spirit. As TORONTOTOKYO is able to find that angle. Pikachu's trying to dive in and get some more damage done to collapse and the Wraith King, but they're too tanky. They stand their ground. They kill off the Void Spirit. As it's not a great fight for Unique at all. Spirit able to easily fight back in that triangle, and they might even find more here as Slayer has been found in the trees. He's going to go for the TP out, but they've got the rod to cancel it.
That one hurts. You know, Team Spirit, they're ready. You open on a Wraith King and a Heart support. You're not really sweating that as Team Spirit. You know, the reincarnation comes off, the AC gets delivered, and that just got to spook you. Like, we've made a mistake the moment that AC aura pops up mid respawn, but this is the trouble when you play too safe. You need to get the little wins. You watch Team Secret, you watch OG, when they have a lead, they jam it down your throat and they get bigger one. And then when they make this big play, it's a commanding advantage. In this spot, Unique had the little bit of an edge and just did nothing with it. They sat on it, makes this move for the big win, but it's an even game now. In fact, you could argue Team Spirit had hit so many timings. That was the first real big initiation. TORONTOTOKYO has a BKB.
Yeah, he's got BKB.
He has BKB. He pops ulti on the Lifestealer, and that's that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're seeing how effective it is, but this decision, you know, on the Wraith King to go for that AC rush, you know, see here, 1 minute 39 faster than the patch fastest, of course, because all these games,
more
Radiant, you know, but this game, you know, yatoro, he recognizes, you know, a quick AC is going to do so much more than the Radiance will in the long term. You know, obviously against the Lifestealer, the Radiance has, you know, much less of an effect with them having that rage. And the AC, I mean, they knew with the time that Unique were taking to actually really bring them to a fight, he knew he could get it done, really, before the first aggressive jump from Unique. And when you're jumping into a team of 20 minutes with an AC, where you have quite a large reliance on physical damage to get kills, you're not going to have that punch that you would have had a few minutes ago.
Oh no, Ghostik. Get caught, my friend. He's going to have to TP, but it would be too...
They've got the control. They've got the damage.
So,
and that's also his courier, so that's going to be Halberd delayed for 2 minutes with the recipe dead.
Again, I really want to... Oh my god.
It's got the jump, so it'll live, but...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So, to go back to this whole conversation about timings. 3K gold lead for Spirit, sure. The big window now, you have a halberd on the Tide, as you said. And also, we saw in that last fight, there was a halberd on the Lifestealer.
He lost his... They killed his courier. He's not got it for 2 minutes now.
So the trouble is, these active disarms, even if we win once he gets it, won't be effective on a hero that's already BKB'd, and it's really for the Wind Ranger. In addition, this is a natural MKB buyer. So that evasion is going to be mostly negated in, what, 3-4 minutes. So you're behind, and the window of semi-advantage you have, you invest in these items that make you stronger, but it doesn't help you scale. Well, you've got 4 minutes or that window closes. You're not actually stronger anymore. In fact, these items are negligible. Now they hurt you more than help you because you're not doing enough damage in the team fights. You would love to have an AC to cancel out Yatoros, but you went for this this build-up item along the way, and another smoke will come out. They have their spells. Ravage is ready. They've got to get something done here and hopefully convert that into a Roshan.
They can find anything here. They will find the DD. Nice bit of a buff for the next bit of action. Not able to get a jump. They're going to be spotted out by the creep wave. Won't be able to get a catch on this if try for Roche, but their lineup is not super easy. Good fight round the pit, but they don't necessarily take it down too quickly.
It's a cool build, Slayer. 3 points in silence. I think that's probably the right way to play this support DP. You get double damage for your level 2 on Q. Decreases in proportion for further points. Silence cooldown decrease. Well, as you get. It's quite nice. Especially in a game against SD Coddle.
Is under attack.
And into Roche they go. They do have Ravage, so they can defend it, but I am a little spooked. There's a BKB on the Wraith King. They're going to collect these bounty runes and say, hey guys, we don't see anybody. Where could they be? And they have already pinged it. They're on the way.
You're going to get there in time.
Gotta hustle. Smoke. It's going to be close.
They will. They're going to get here a pretty good time, but Ravage is available.
Here? Oh, goodness.
They want to keep finishing off this road, but Palantimos is going to get past. He has to put the rage, but he's been ruptured. Jumps into Slayer. Keep him away, but Roshan is so low here. And now they will have to Ravage, but they won't have Exorcism for this fight. He just heads into the pit. He's just going to be able to finish it. They don't even attempt to fight without the Exorcism. They don't feel confident to go back in, and Spirit pretty much just get handed themselves a free Roshan and a free Aegis.
Thank you very much. We'll take that. It's like that one time I got bullied. I was Halloween trick-or-treating for hours. Some kid just showed up, took my candy.
Nice.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. I guess in this case it's fine, though. It is a competitive video game after all. But the big thing there is that there was a BKB on Yatoro, and Unique knew that. Suddenly, you're already a bit outmatched, you're outpositioned, and you know that your only real initiation is Ghostik going forward. It's like Sin, but if Yatoro just BKBs, Toronto BKBs, no one else is going to be in range. That's it. Your initiation's kaput. Just a losing scenario, and this game slipping slowly out of Unique's hands. I fear soon it will increase in pace as Spirit have a commanding lead now. The Solar Crest as well, all this damage amplification. They're just going to go high ground. Why not?
Yeah, Aegis, Reincarnation. Let's see how much they're able to push it in. Ghostik will turn up. It's going to be enough for them to back off for now. I mean, there's still tier 2s to be taken. The other lanes, you've now got the MKB finished on Toronto-Tokyo. Both him and Yatoro continue to hold those top 2 spots. Yatoro in particular having a remarkable turnaround after what was a very tough laning stage. He's showing the power of that Wraith King with the recovery he's made. And these items, huge threat, Collapse even feeling comfortable enough to start slipping into Dagon territory on the Bloodseeker.
Dig it. And look at that. I mean, Yatoro found a Cloak of Flames too, so he's even more tanky than a makeshift Radiance to boot. They get Tokyo though. Wow, that was a good kill.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised he did die there, right? Because I feel like he died to the magic damage left by the Astral Step, but he was able to pop BKB. So how did that work, Kyle? I guess...
Oh, well, Astral pierces BKB.
Well, the magic damage does? Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought... Okay, you're right. I thought when it says yes, I thought it was only the physical element, but I guess you're right. The physical and magical element must pierce BKB, because indeed he pops the BKB, but the magic damage left by the Astral Step still kills him off.
Oh, wow, wait. Or did it... What? I didn't even see the BKB animation.
I mean, he got it off because it's on cooldown, 70 seconds. Look. Watch his items. Same tick.
Wow. Okay, could have been like a same tick thing, because you're right. I wasn't sure.
If
I just assumed that the
No, I mean, you're right.
damage did too.
No, absolutely, you're right. The ability does say pierce the spell immunity, yes, but obviously has a physical element and a magical element. I thought, Valve being Valve, it was just referencing the physical, but I guess it references the magical. Astral step attacks do not cleave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think it did when it was first released.
No, I don't think it. I've never bought Battlefield on Spirit. I think. Anyway, mid-lane Slayer. Oh my goodness. Not going to stand much chance next to this Wraith King, puffed up by the Solar Crest. Armlet, BKB, AC, and Basher.
Going back to timing, this is a 4K lead for Spirit. Does it feel like a 4K lead? It feels
Radiant's middle tower
like a lot more than that, and a big part of that is just yatoro on this Wraith King. A terrible start, an awful laning phase. He's jungling at level 5. Blink, 30 minutes later, here he is.
I mean, that's
top of the network.
Right. That's why it had sort of this, and it still has, this period of teams just loving to go for it. You are going to be able to make that recovery in the jungle if the enemy team isn't getting in your face and playing super aggro. And this game, Unique, they certainly weren't doing that. Where we saw a very sort of calm beginning from them after some strong opening lanes. And now the game has just allowed Spirit to really come into their element. And Unique's lack of pace is definitely starting to hurt them.
Oh, for sure. And they do it very methodically now, right? Just, okay, we got Aegis. Great. Take tier 2s. Awesome. Okay, we controlled the outpost. 30 minutes. Let's smoke towards top. They were thinking about contesting these bounties, but Coddle Summon wasn't available yet. Ult was on cooldown until about just now. And they leave yatoro bottom. So this effectively splits the map and makes Unique pick a choice, but they always have that option to bring him to the Coddle if needed. But like the map is theirs now. Great wards, top. Underrated lane wards right there.
How does
very rarely countered.
Lifesteal ever catch back up?
Well, you don't. Well, I mean, you can. It's possible.
It's hard, yeah. It's seeming very hard right now. Nice Slayer. Trees and stop to that.
So far, so good for Spirit. Again, they win, they get a shot at a tiebreaker match, and in fact, you could argue they'd even be favored in a way. I mean, again, they lost to NoTechies and Empire, the two teams at the bottom of the group right now.
They did, but those were also, as far as I'm aware, their first two series of the league, right? So they had those two rough losses. Then they went into a series against VP, and they did take a game off VP. And then other than that, obviously, it's been all wins for Spirit. So, I think it's definitely one of those teams that the case was that at the start of the league, they had, sort of the first few games of really getting to the level that they're capable of. And now in games like this, I think we're seeing that. This game, it really does feel that Spirit, they're playing it cool, they're playing it casual, and that's working out in this scenario. When you have yatoro on his Wraith King, they can very comfortably just sort of sit behind him and say, as long as yatoro is having a good game, he's going to be able to carry out the opponent.
And now, take enemy agents. This is the triangle you want to be playing. Next, Aegis maybe is the point you look to endgame, but, pro Dota, in pubs nowadays, like, this is kind of just what Dota is now. You get this lead, you take map control, but you're not really thinking of going high ground until you double it, triple it, have Aegis, have cheese, and the cooldowns. And trying to go up a hill into Tidehunter, always... Surprised they allow their ancients. I guess it was waiting for the Abyss delivery. Okay, now it's go time. Back to the aggression. It's one of the more annoying parts of Dota is like you know you're stronger, but you don't want to take some game-deciding team fight without that big item that's like it's on the way. It's on the way.
Find anything here you need. Smoke's just giving them the opportunities to get these jumps that they hope for, Spirit. not leaving themselves open for that sort of move to be made against them.
Only great is right now Spirit have 3 tier 3 items in the neutral stash. Guys, upgrade, everybody. You gotta,
what do they got?
Well, we have a Van Breaks on Shadow Demon instead of the ceremonial robe. We've got a Cloak of Flames going wanting. I'd love to see Bloodseeker pick that up instead of his Nether Shawl, but I guess he just wants the Spell Amp. And then an Elven Tunic for the Wraith King. I think he gives that Orb of Destruction over to the Windmaker. Right?
Under attack.
Just saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Orb of Disruption is pretty nice on.
Yes.
And I don't know if he needs the evasion. His attack's been... even the move speed's got a pistol. He's closing gaps with the face. The evasion would be nice. But at the same time, you know, who's right-clicking him? It's just a lifesteal, and I don't think he's going to care too much about Palantimos.
Dude, evasion is so good. It's also anti-healing.
But I think because of how far ahead he is, he knows if he can just speed up the rate that he's killing people with that extra minus armor, then he's going to take that every time. If they're down in a few crits, they're not even going to get the chance.
That's true. The Orb of Destruction. There, look at that. He can't survive.
Yeah. This Wraith King's not going to die. That's the last thing he's worried about at the moment. They'll lose Miposhka. They can get more out of this. They're trying for collapse. Forward with the Abyssal onto Palantimos. Palantimos turning for yatoro. We're going to see BKB from TORONTOTOKYO as he's looking towards Pikachu. Pikachu taking heavy damage here. Jumps over to the side, looking towards Mirror. They'll find the Shadow Demon. Ghost now out. As Team Spirit, they will be outnumbered. They've got to run. It's buyback from Ghostik. Giving Unique the power to run down another. They take him down the once. Can they do it again? He's got the BKB. See who he can focus on. Palantimos getting the bashes. Shackle shot isn't going to connect as they've got to get the Wraith King out of it, but it looks like they won't be able to. Wow. As they're able to kite up the rest of the team, make sure that there's no help able to come in for yatoro. As yatoro goes down, Mira will die back. Yatoro actually dead for 80 seconds.
That was wild. And is Roche up? Okay, that would have been brutal. But so Mira buys back there, but he doesn't get in. He's not in time. He doesn't have he has a blink and an Aether Lens, still not able to get the disruption off, and still pays with his life. The 2 shackles, you know, here's the problem with Wind Ranger. 2 shackles used in that fight on Lifestealer, 2 shackles that do not latch.
No, that didn't.
That's that. That's your hero. Others, you just click stun. They're now stunned. But instead, missed shackle, now you have to spend the Abyssal early, and no MKB on the Wraith King, so that Halberd is super effective still. And I believe Wind Ranger Ultimate was also still on cooldown when they opened there, because Tida died, then bought back.
Well, no. I think he did have the ult. What Wind Ranger did, I think he ulted Palantimos. Palantimos just jumped inside the Void Spirit, and then of course the Focus Fire was giving him no benefit at all.
Yep.
Because he couldn't keep it in the lifesteal.
I'm surprised. Pikachu's had a very quiet game, but very farmed. Like, he's actually ahead of this enemy Wind Ranger. But his itemization, that Lincoln's, very effective. A lot of Spirit's lockdown is all single target. He just throws that on the lifestealer.
Yeah. Well, important fight now. Roche is up. Smoke from both sides. Palantimos popping the rage. See who's going to be able to get his hands on. Looking for collapses, looking for Miposhka, but they'll wait it out. Set up with the Atos. Over the side. Oh! Beautiful job, Ghostik. He gets in with the 3-man ravage. Miposhka down. Miposhka will buy back straight away. yatoro is able to turn onto Palantimos. He's now going to move over towards Ghostik. I mean, it was a great ravage, but that might not necessarily secure them. The team fighters. Ghostik will go down. Over to the side. Pikachu trying to burst through this Wind Ranger, and he will manage to do so. TORONTOTOKYO will fall. Big jab to put the BKB to get away. The Blood Bright Silence on the far. Sets up for the kill. Now they're looking for Slayer. 2 buybacks from Unique as they're trying to get back over it. They're trying to get yatoro, but yatoro takes down Slayer. The armlet toggling, keeping him alive as he now turns his efforts over towards Pikachu. Pikachu, he will get stunned up and taken out. Triple kill for Collapse.
What are those buybacks? They baited their teammates into thinking that their reinforcements were alive. Look at the map. You know, this is the power of map control. They have no tier 2s. They do not have an outpost. They teleported to the tier 3s, and they're like, wait, you're fighting like way over the river. You're across the channel.
I mean, it was a great jump, but it's initially not able to take down yatoro in time. He gets the BKB off, and you're losing Palantimos. That's sort of the first death of the fight here for Unique, and at that moment, it becomes very hard for them to really rally up and keep on fighting.
Like, thing is, they're out. Like, at this point, I feel like you almost have to cut your losses. You get the kill. Perfect. Get out. Bignum is dead.
And there's the buyback.
Yes, and this is the thing. Pikachu's gone. Like, he has BKB active. He has an Astral Step. He can just run. Instead, they're baited by this idea that eventually reinforcements will get here. But look at the TP location. Look how far away Palantimos is.
Big
man.
Big fight there for Spirit. Around an important point as well there, around that Roshan. As they've been able to clean that up. Aegis on yatoro. 3k gold as well.
And now you can see the danger too. If he gets ulted by Wind Ranger and there's no one to hop into right away, he just pretty much dies. Like, that was 4 seconds. Lifesteal goes from 100 to 0. Orchid now on Collapse. Both utilized, I guess, as a Lincoln's cancel, and also, you know, no BKB. Lifestealer can't really afford to buy when either already too much gold spent on defensive items. So
that is true, and they've got no.
Yeah.
Well, there's not
No
him as
Lotus
well. Yeah, nobody else has got anything to save, and that will cause huge issue for Palantimos. He gets orchided. I mean, the money nearly there actually for the full Bloodthorn collapse.
Well, that's really nice as a tool to completely negate evasion. One of the only items in Dota, with the exception of Divine Rapier. In fact, it is the only item with Divine Rapier that can remove evasion entirely. More ways to counter it, of course.
I'd gladly hit something. Technically,
There's no discount to TORONTOTOKYO as well. As in the River Slayer, it's been found here. Now run him down. He's speedy. Oh, not speedy enough to get away from a running Wind Ranger. Top lane Pikachu. Jump's been made by yatoro. He's in with the Abyssal. Time will be TORONTOTOKYO is going to jump over towards Palantimos. Going to start forcing back the Lifestealer. Collapse, and yatoro, they're still going for Pikachu. Pikachu, he posts the BKB. He's got to get out with his TP. And he will do so. He's up for the TP on time. He'll make it away. And now Spirit, they're ready to start pushing up to the base. There's no death profit. Does have a buyback available. Let's see if they can hold this. Pikachu has to be careful. No BKB charge ready.
Really carefully. Toronto's got quick to be ready.
See, the first the Wraith King that wants. He's back for round 2 though. The Shackle connects. They're over towards Ghostik. The Lotus is now up. And Ghostik, so he's able to reflect the stun still. Woo, he's going to tick out. Can't make it back to the base. They turn with the stun on TORONTOTOKYO, but the Eon Disc gives him the chance to put the BKB and step back. Toro continues to try and focus objectives. They have lost the creep wave though. Backdoor protection kicks in momentarily. Spirit to reset a little bit.
The net worth is a little misleading right now. yatoro has almost a full Swift Blink, not currently active. Game more even than net worth may appear. However, they've hit such an insane timing, and they can just wait. Stations up again.
He gets shotgun off the creep wave. They're in onto him, and they got the damage. yatoro, can he bring down Palantimos in time? He's trying. He can't quite, and in fact, Palantimos, he's turning back out towards yatoro. Jump to the side. Pikachu is getting in there with the Astral Step over towards the edge. Leia, he's ready to start swinging in with the Exorcism. Mira will kite him up with the Disruption. Pikachu jumping over, grabs the Shadow Demon back with the Remnant. The Glimmer Cave's still buying time for Mira. yatoro is still getting focused down here, but he's got a few lives to work through. But they've lost 2. They've lost Slayer. They've lost TORONTOTOKYO.
Radiant's top
wild
barracks
fight.
are under attack.
Yeah, that was a great initiation. Pikachu, again, like, he's doing his part. They managed to burst down the Wind Ranger near the back of the fight, ignoring yatoro. His Aeon Disc, his BKB were on cooldown. They did get Ghostik. He did not, he did not buy back. They just kind of, you know, when you're killing a Tide Hunter, unfortunately, you typically have to utilize more resources than you would want. And that was the case there. But nice job by Bignum and Pikachu just to find that kill on the necessary core. And the one danger is you're going to get... Yeah, Swift Blink is ready, and now we can slot it in. Once Aegis fades, he will be officially out of room to grow. You could argue we could replace Boots by Moonshot, sure, but either way, reaching his near peak. Abyssal now finished on Lifestealer, and we did see Collapse's Bloodthorn come into play there, because, again, you remove the total evasion from the Lifestealer. Did he talent? No, he did not. He actually, wow, he went for the Ghoul Frenzy slow. But I guess that makes sense. You're playing against MKB already, and there's a Bloodthorn. So it makes sense, but that's why you get it, right? 20% plus the 6% would have been pretty nuts. You kind of need more tools to deal with it. And I expect that the final item for yatoro, oh, wow, no, it's a Bloodthorn of his own. They recognize the importance of any evasion. I thought maybe a Rapier. It still could be in the cards. We'll see.
We're going to see the jump from Palantimos. He's shown on the wave. Start teasing things out with the illusion, but taken out. Now they're going to hit back with the smoke and spells you need.
I know. Be careful here.
Scan it as well. They know the rough area of Spirit.
The pop hit from the high ground.
Layup. He jumped straight in there. Not the strongest of initiators there. Players, he just goes in, drops the silence, and immediately drops his life for a Pikachu. He's got to be careful. He's trying to run. Going to jump to the side here. He's up into the high ground, but he has been rocked. He's got to keep holding himself still, but there's the jump. They're in with the stun. They're taking him out. And now TORONTOTOKYO Palantimos. There'll be a buyback from Pikachu. Yatoro's on the run. Palantimos getting him with the Abyssal, but Mirror keeps the Wraith King safe with the disruption. They turn with the silence. Hold him largely. They have to use the round step, but he goes down. They can't save it in time. The poison damage from Mirror enough to push Palantimos over the edge, and now they're without the life stealer for 2 whole minutes. Pikachu trying his best to fight back. He's got the 25 to that. Stimulate stun is helping. Over to the side Slayer. He's committing in with the exorcism. He tosses his spirit, sees the opportunity to jump back in. It's a long time where they don't have to worry about the life stealer getting involved again.
Pikachu's the real deal, but it's just not enough. It is not enough for his team in this game. A really late buyback from Slayer. I'm cool with the blink up into the high ground into an immediate abyssal death.
If you're going to use the buy,
you got to buy back immediately, because that breaks open the fight. Your team should be initiating off the back of your intentional death. We've seen that time after time from Kuro, from Solo, and these big critical matches. But if you stay buyback for that long, been a cooldown perhaps? I don't know.
And Yatoro takes out Bignum. Bignum will buy back. Use the BKB for that attention. Pikachu jumping in. The Wraith King. Chain stunned. They can't stop him from taking the tower. First from one.
Whoa! Oh, the disrupt!
Oh,
the disrupt on the finger!
Oh! I saw him disappear. I was like, he didn't die. He didn't lose the ult. He still got a good to go. Mirror with the perfect timing. All right, oh, baby. Now Ghostik, well, he just gets jumped and focus fired under the side. Slayer's going to go down. As the die back from him. They have a fortification. Ghostik will buy back. Inside the base Mirror. I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. He's pretty deep. But he's making space. And space will be made. The mid-brex taken down by Spirit. Still trying to bring Yatoro down though once. They can do it this time. No, forced out the jump forward. Their eyes are bursting. At the same time though, the shackles come out to turn them. Palantimos ready to chase with the rage. Jumps into Pikachu, allows him to close the gap on him and Miposhka. They get the Cottle. There'll be a buyback from Mirror. The rest of Spirit, they backed off.
Bounty.
They got what they came for. Set of racks, and we'll see that finger damage dodge here again.
Got a juke in the carrion as well. Man, I love the slow-mo.
Perfectly done. That little bit of instance between the connection and the damage being dealt. Mirror's able to find it.
I think he toggled too, so he's actually just dead to any touch there. So really nice timing. They get how many buybacks? I think they used pretty much the whole team. Yeah, everybody on the Radiant side has used their buyback, with the exception of Palantimos, who used it before, but needs a little more gold for it. But first, I like what he's got queued up. Rapier, you need it.
He does.
You are so far behind. You feel it. The damage output just simply not there. BKB now complete on the Bloodseeker.
Just got to make sure whoever he jumps with this pistol is zeroed throughout the duration of his rage. And here we go. That Bloodthorn done. So, a couple of measures to deal with that. There's Halberd. Evasion. Straight through the linkers.
The trouble is, Slayer and Bignum, you know, it's at the point. You've got this Ghost Scepter on Slayer. You have some blinks on both, but you just die. You die to anything, you know. This Abyssal comes in, all of a sudden you're gone with no buyback. It's just so difficult now for your cores to actually stick to targets. You gotta play near flawlessly from here on out.
Is under attack.
Game. TORONTOTOKYO Daedalus complete level 25. Really like the Aeon disc. This is something I've wanted to bring up for a while. In many ways, both Western and Eastern Europe are behind. In SEA and China, Aeon disc is like a very common item pick, especially on heroes like these mids, Void Spirit, Wind Rangers, you know. Third item you'll see. I've even seen it second item because it guarantees that you can tank that initial burst, reset, get your spells off.
This is a aggressive move from TORONTOTOKYO. Straight in on to Ghostik.
Aeon disc.
Now he's got the BKB.
Well, he had Arcane Rune 2 plus that CDR talent at 25, so that's a 40-second CD on his Aeon and 25 on BKB.
Well, that's pretty ridiculous.
That's nuts.
See, that's sort of low of a cooldown on the old Aeon disc. Yeah, said already. Definitely the merits of time, but on these sort of heroes with that benefit.
We saw it in the Enigma series from yesterday as well. The Windmaker will be another thing that becomes more meta. I feel everybody is maximizing on their damage output. The next evolution of the meta will be people realizing, if we just survive that initial onslaught, you know, with this Lion becoming more common as an example, you're going to turn the fight around 100%. You just have to make sure that all 5 of your heroes can get their skills up. Ghostik, hello. Ghostik. That's okay. Sulking. Okay, no buyback. All right.
Yeah, they've lost the time for 2 minutes. And over to the side, yatoro. He's in straight on a Slayer. Now he's going to look towards Pikachu. Pikachu trying to find Mirror, but Mirror is able to keep himself alive with the self-disruption. Jump back is there with the Remnant. Mirror does fall, but over to the side, yatoro. He's trying to run down the death prop. He's going to turn his efforts over towards Pikachu as they're taking them down one by one. As Pikachu is going to yaws himself up in the air. Palantimos trying to take down what he can. He's able to get himself TORONTOTOKYO. Can Palantimos do this? He's looking over towards yatoro. Yatoro's got the backup of Collapse. The Blood Bright comes in. Pikachu's coming in with the Astral Step Burst. They take down the Wraith King the ones. Can the two of them clean up again? Silenced out onto this large deal and the damage for Yatoro. It's too much for Palantimos to deal with. As he's Bloodthorn, critted down by the Wraith King. Just Pikachu left alive and he's got to run.
As he respawned, he blinked in melee range just to get the Swift Link. He's like, you know what? I need that little bit of extra juice. Hits the Nitrous, and like Vin Diesel blew past Paul Walker, he ensures he's got the right click to go toe-to-toe. I think he probably wins that duel anyway, but you just want to make sure, you know, no rookie mistakes.
I did look like it was on the verge of maybe Palantimos being able to tear the whole team apart. He was doing a good job. Getting a strong early kill in the fight on the Wind Ranger, but just not enough.
Animations are nuts. I don't even know what the hell's going on with the True King crits plus the blood. Like, what's even happening? Give him a Giant's Ring now. All we need. It's a 51-minute game. What? Time flies, man.
No, I mean, it yeah. It's a 51-minute game that it's just been a game of really feels unique, just falling further and further behind and about to fall even further down. By the looks of it, it's Pikachu. He's been caught. And he's now out and down for 2 minutes. No buyback at the moment here on Pikachu, so a big window here for Spirit to push on and themselves close to that victory.
Maybe yatoro, I mean, he's got Aegis. He's got Bloodthorn finished. BKB, Swift Blink, Moon Shard complete. Is there anything else you need to go high ground? Guaranteed 4v5 now for the next 100 seconds. Team Spirit, is it time? The answer is yes. But how much will they get out of this? Hex on the coddle, my god. Pressure Shard now. On the Shadow Demon. Poor Mira, 3-10 and 10. He's had a performance, but
he's doing his job.
Yeah. It's like, why are they killing me, guys? I don't understand. Nice smoke wrap, but I don't know.
Ghostik always in, but it's a rabbit onto Collapse. They've burst him with the finger, but he's not quite dead. Collapse, he's able to get up, pop the cheese, he's back up to full. Shackles out onto Slayer. Slayer's gone and they'll call it. They know if that's not going to do it, nothing is at this point.
Mira got
GG is called.
Mira got a knife. The entire enemy
to victory. Oh boy, that was a long game, but definitely one that I feel is not going to feel longer for anyone other than the players on Unique, because it was just a game of eternally falling further and further behind, and a game, Carl, that you think they would have stood a bit of a better chance if they gave it a bit more oomph off the back of the laning stuff.
Oh, you just got to. I mean, you laned the way I think you hoped for. Like, you engineered this concept that pretty much made Yatoro's game miserable.
Timings. We need these teams to be a little bit more snappy on their timings, at least in the case of Unique, and they have got one chance left. Potentially two if they force out this third game of the series, because that's what they will need to do if they want to avoid tiebreakers for elimination. Let's see how they do in game 2. We are ready for the draft after the break.
Don't you know I'm a bad little mama? I got moves like Madonna.
bird timing. They had everything going well, but unfortunately, a bit of an issue when they don't really do anything at all at any point.
I thought we heard you, Kyle. Did people not hear you?
No,
Brian, did you hear Kyle?
You heard Kyle just now? I didn't hear him while Tigo was talking.
No, but before
beforehand.
that.
No, I muted myself.
I heard
at some
that.
point during it. That makes sense.
No. We
No?
heard the whole thing.
No.
Those mute buttons.
I
actually
just
don't work.
monologued
They
just
don't
because
work?
Kyle wasn't.
No, they don't. They only work when you do something with it, and sometimes they just don't work.
Yeah.
So if you don't use it, what does it fall off or something?
If you've been trying to mute yourself, for example, when you're going to the toilet,
Doesn't
work.
No,
they can
hear
still
it.
listen in
They
if
hear
they
it.
want to.
Unplug it.
That's the right way to do it.
That is
a
also
strong mute.
another lesson. Always, kids, people at home, assume anything that can record you is, including your phone.
Oh, I do love.
They're
these
always
adverts.
listening.
That's true.
That's true. I am always listening.
It is really creepy when you have a phone conversation with somebody and then see targeted ads based on what you were talking
That
about.
is very creepy, actually, and it does happen all the time.
It does happen.
All the time.
They're listening.
5 seconds remaining.
Ooh, we got a morphling. Look at that.
The second round of bans always gets real spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so long, aren't they? 3 bands each. Oh.
And they're a little bit more exciting when it comes to the tier 1-1-1, like the best teams.
That's just tier 1, Shiva.
Yeah. Well, you can consider these
You
two
say
teams.
S?
They're in the upper division as well, so they're kind of tier 1. Maybe.
I've started to think of
They're strong tier
the best
two.
teams in the world is K tier.
What is K tier?
No.
There's not what?
Stop.
What?
No. We
K
have to
tier.
normalize the tier system. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
No. It's
Why
first
isn't
off,
there no 5?
in ascending order.
There's no point going that
5.
low.
Yeah,
That's
really,
for
it's
me
like
and Kyle.
Unranked. Yeah, that's unranked.
3, 2, 1, S, K.
Why? Why do you need that?
Here we go.
Why do you need
Here's
what?
the
I know
zinger.
why.
Come on, Kyle.
Kyle
It's
tier! Jesus.
That might have
So
been what I was
bad.
going for, but it didn't sound like that in my head. We're going to do away with that now. It's only S tier. Which,
Tier 1.
also, good lord, man, it is
Come.
nothing.
Okay. So, Steam Spirit, they've got the Grimstroke, the Tusk, the Morphling. I don't know, I don't think there's much flexibility within these heroes being picked up, so it simply will just be Grim 5, Tusk 4, your Morph, carry, or mid, depending on what's required. But it does set up for some aggressive potential, especially if you put the Morph mid, strong offlaner, pick up another aggressive carry. That's kind of maybe where Team Spirit could lean towards. And Unique, they're just kind of stealing heroes, taking away the line themselves. Very good against the Morphling, of course. Instant lockdown. If you get him...
Last game.
They did have it last game. It's so far it's just
Yeah,
it's
they did.
looking like the same draft, obviously in a little bit of a different order coming out. We have still got the Tide in the pool not banned out by Team Spirit. I didn't think that was a problem. The other hero that we saw picked up in this position in the 3-4 was the Lifestealer, of course, which is also left in.
Don't want to see that.
Nope.
Terrible.
No,
hero.
not against Morphling, please.
Exactly, yeah. I also think Lifestealer in general, unless you have heroes that push forward, you don't pick Lifestealer because then you're doubling, tripling, you're quadrupling down on never doing anything up until you suddenly are 35 minutes into the game and can react. And yeah, don't pick Lifestealer.
Yep. Ember into Void Spirit can be a little tricky. We've seen this matchup go both ways. I think most people would say it was Void Spirit favored.
If you hit the remnants, that is.
I'm looking to see if Unique have an answer to this Morphling, though. PL is banned out. Naga Siren's a possibility, but otherwise, what does beat Morphling nowadays?
That's a question that we would normally ask you as the analyst.
Brian is the carry player.
Yeah, it is the PL and the Ursa are pretty much his worst carry matchups right now. It's just the long drawn out fight from the PL where he burns your mana. I think Slark's really nice if they wanted to go that route. It scales really nicely against the Morph. Any natural Scotty builders feel really nice. The mana burn is the biggest part though. I talked about the PL being a huge counter. Beastmaster with the book 3. Yes, you're probably not going to kill the Morphling because he's got such high armor. But Morphling with no mana is pretty useless, and if he's forced to strain shift, sometimes the best way to deal with him is to just let him live.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is just pressure. You kind of look at one-to-one matchups, but the idea of the map being small is a big issue when you have a Morphling in your team.
Yeah.
That can also kind of bite you a little bit when the Morphling does get some farm because it just turns the game around. Unique, they have enough lockdown and pace to be able to deal with what Team Spirit has. Team Spirit, they're going to be, once again, the aggressors. But this time, Unique actually has a mechanism to play around and push forward. We didn't see that in the previous game. They got a Beastmaster this time.
Yeah.
Unless he is tri-laned with some Grim Tusk rotation coming in, his lane should go well. He should be able to get an early Necro and play into that tower. But right now, Team Spirit support Joe plus Ember, they can easily pick apart any kind of misplay from Unique because they want to TP into fights. They want to be present in every early engagement.
Yeah. Also, Kyle, this is the time where I let you go to prepare for the cast. And yeah, we're in the final stages here. We do still have the Tyrant band this time by the side of Unique. Because what boxes do we want ticked for the last couple of picks coming out here? Looks like for Team Spirit, we want sturdy, tanky offlaner, and for Spirit. And for Unique, we're looking for the Palantimos hero. Something that can measure up to that Morphling.
Yeah, I want to go off of what Tigo said. I think that the Beastmaster's momentum this game is crucial. So Tusk rotating top is almost certainly going to happen very early on, which then means whatever hero Team Spirit drafts needs to be independent, which also means whatever hero Team Unique drafts needs to make sure that Lion plus that hero will be a massive threat, or I guess Death Prophet plus that hero will be a massive threat. Drow is a great example, scales pretty well against Morph, and no offlaner really wants to lane solo against it. I think if they allow Team Spirit's offlaner to have a game while ganking with the Tusk, they are just going to lose this game. But if they can manage to either trade the bad game on Beastmaster for the bad game on Team Spirit's offlaner, or enable this Beastmaster, which I think will be tough because Morphling, Grimstroke, Tusk is very scary, then Team Unique will be good to go. But I'm still liking Team Spirit simply because both teams have, in my opinion, a very specific thing they need, but Team Spirit's got the overall aspect. So they'll be able to see the lane counter, and their offlaner should be able to have a better game because of it.
Yeah, for Team Spirit right now, Collapse's hero pool. I'm thinking the top 3 picks for them is either an Abaddon to tank up the damage and just be a front line. There's a lot of single target damage for them. Or they can go for like the Centaur, kind of just kind of disengage the fight with the Stampede. Ags makes you very tanky. Or flip side of that, the Pangolier. Nice wave kill against the pressure of the Beastmaster and one of the best offlaners for counter aggression. So that's kind of the 3 heroes I'm looking at for Spirit. Of course, Unique, they need to pick up their carry to play into that. And that's where, when I list those 3 heroes for Spirit, they're going to counter at least one of them.
Yeah.
To then kind of play into that and then force them into kind of one of the other positions in the draft.
I personally would love a Venomancer, but
okay.
I know that hero's not seen very often. I just think they need, for Team Spirit.
Okay. Yeah.
They just need some looming pressure. Like they have the Morphling who's going to be sturdy farming. They have the Playmaker Ember. I think if it's not Veno, they just need a hero that sits in the lane and pushes it. And I think what Tigo said is really important. If they can get a hero that also disrupts the fights like the Pangolier, it's okay. But I personally, because of what I mentioned with the Tusk, I would prioritize the laning stage. Like if I could pick a hero that gets like level 4 or 5 and has a really strong laning stage afterwards, because Tusk is so strong level 1, that's what I would personally go for. But the Venomancer being my prime candidate, it does come down to this carry pick a lot though.
I think Unique might just go for the Troll Warlord, just for the whole idea of winning the lane, especially when Tusk is your position 4. He doesn't do anything to a Troll. It secures their game. They can go Roshan with the Beastmaster plus Troll. Gives them a bit more fight. And yeah, if you ever lock on to the Morphling in that kind of 1v1 duel, a good route at the right time, it can go work wonders for you. Oh, they actually go for the Wraith King. Okay.
Nice.
Radiant team pick.
Dusk.
Dire team pick.
Void incarnate.
Like all big and stuff.
Yeah, Unique for sure. maybe the nerves got to them. They were kind of happy to wait and kind of play for a later timing. Of course, there wasn't really like the issue is in this game. Both teams don't really have punishment in their drafts up until kind of a 25-minute timing where they collapse the map. So for sure, Unique coming into this series, they were like, oh, if we don't cross the river and don't make these plays, we can, with our own confidence and our own timings, we can play strong. Like they had this double halberd timing, they had everything going well, but unfortunately, bit of an issue when they don't really do anything at all at any point.
I thought we heard you, Kyle. Did people not hear you?
No,
Brian, did you hear Kyle?
You heard Kyle just now? I didn't hear him while Tigo was talking.
No, but before that.
No, I muted myself.
I heard
at some
that.
point during it. That makes sense.
No. We heard the whole thing.
No.
Those mute buttons.
I just monologued.
They
just
don't
because
work?
Kyle wasn't.
No, they don't. They only work when you do something with it, and sometimes they just don't work.
Yeah.
So if you don't use it, what does it fall off or something?
If you've been trying to mute yourself, for example, when you're going to the toilet,
doesn't
work.
No,
They can still listen
they
in if
hear
they
it.
want to.
Unplug it.
That's the right way to do it.
That is
a
also
strong mute.
another lesson.
Dire
Always,
team
kids,
back.
people at home, assume anything that can record you is, including your phone.
Oh, I do love.
They're
these
always
adverts.
listening.
That's true.
That's true. I am always listening.
It is really creepy when you have a phone conversation with somebody and then see targeted ads based on what you were talking
That
about.
is very creepy. And it does.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Push forward. You don't pick Lifestealer because then you're doubling, tripling, you're quadrupling down on never doing anything up until you suddenly are 35 minutes into the game and can react. And don't pick Lifestealer.
Yep. Ember into Void Spirit can be a little tricky. We've seen this matchup go both ways. I think most people would say it was Void Spirit favored.
If you hit the remnants, that is.
5 seconds remaining.
Looking to see if Unique have an answer to this Morphling, though. PL is banned out. Naga Siren's a possibility, but otherwise, what does beat Morphling nowadays?
That's a question that we would normally ask you as the analyst.
Brian
Kyle
is the carry player.
Yeah, it is. The PL and the Ursa are pretty much his worst carry matchups right now. It's just the long drawn out fight from the PL where he burns your mana. I think Slark's really nice if they wanted to go that route.
Radiant
it scales really nicely against the Morph. Any natural Scotty builders feel really nice. The mana burn is the biggest part though. I talked about the PL being a huge counter. Beastmaster with the book 3. Yes, you're probably not going to kill the Morphling because he's got such high armor. But Morphling with no mana is pretty useless, and if he's forced to strain shift, sometimes the best way to deal with him is to just let him live.
I think the key thing here is just pressure. You kind of look at one-to-one matchups, but the idea of the map being small is a big issue when you have a Morphling in your team.
Yeah.
that can also kind of bite you a little bit when the Morphling does get some farm, because it just turns. The Unique, they have enough lockdown and pace to be able to deal with what Team Spirit has. Team Spirit, they're going to be, once again, the aggressors. But this time, Unique actually has a mechanism to play around and push forward. We didn't see that in the previous game. They got a Beastmaster this time.
Yeah.
Unless he is tri-laned with some Grim Tusk rotation coming in, his lane should go well. He should be able to get an early Necro and play into that tower. But right now, Team Spirit support Joe plus Ember, they can easily pick apart any kind of misplay from Unique, because they want to TP into fights. They want to be present in every early engagement.
Yeah. Also, Kyle, this is the time where I let you go to prepare for the cast. And yeah, we're in the final stages here. We do still have the Tyrant band, this time by the side of Unique. Because what boxes do we want ticked for the last couple of picks coming out here? Looks like for Team Spirit, we want sturdy, tanky offlaner, and for Spirit. And for Unique, we're looking for the Palantimos hero. Something that can measure up to that Morphling.
Yeah, I want to go off of what Chigo said. I think that the Beastmaster's momentum this game is crucial. So Tusk rotating top is almost certainly going to happen very early on, which then means whatever hero Team Spirit drafts needs to be independent, which also means whatever hero Team Unique drafts needs to make sure that Lion plus that hero will be a massive threat, or I guess Death Prophet plus that hero will be a massive threat. Drow is a great example, scales pretty well against Morph, and no offlaner really wants to lane solo against it. I think if they allow Team Spirit's offlaner to have a game while ganking with the Tusk, they are just going to lose this game. But if they can manage to either trade the bad game on Beastmaster for the bad game on Team Spirit's offlaner, or enable this Beastmaster, which I think will be tough because Morphling, Grimstroke, Tusk is very scary, then Team Unique will be good to go. But I'm still liking Team Spirit simply because both teams have, in my opinion, a very specific thing they need, but Team Spirit's got the overall last pick. So they'll be able to see the lane counter, and their offlaner should be able to have a better game because of it.
Yeah, for Team Spirit right now, Collapse's hero pool. I'm thinking the top 3 picks for them is either an Abaddon to tank up the damage and just be a front line. There's a lot of single target damage for them. Or they can go for like the Centaur, kind of just kind of disengage the fight with Stampede. Ags makes you very tanky. Or flip side of that, the Pangolier. Nice wave kill against the pressure of the Beastmaster, and one of the best laners for counter aggression. So that's kind of the 3 heroes I'm looking at for Spirit. Of course, Unique, they need to pick up their carry to play into that. And that's where, when I list those 3 heroes for Spirit, they're going to counter at least one of them.
Yeah.
To then kind of play into that and then force them into kind of one of the other positions in the draft.
I personally would love a Venomancer, but I know that hero's not seen very often. I just think they need, for Team Spirit.
Yeah.
They just need some looming pressure. Like they have the Morphling who's going to be sturdy farming. They have the Playmaker Ember. I think if it's not Veno, they just need a hero that sits in the lane and pushes it. And I think what Tigo said is really important. If they can get a hero that also disrupts the fights like the Pangolier, it's okay. But I personally, because of what I mentioned with the Tusk, I would prioritize the laning stage. Like if I could pick a hero that gets like level 4 or 5 and has a really strong laning stage afterwards, because Tusk is so strong level 1, that's what I would personally go for. But the Venomancer being my prime candidate, it does come down to this carry pick a lot though.
I think Unique might just go for the Troll Warlord, just for the whole idea of winning the lane, especially when Tusk is your position 4. He doesn't do anything to a Troll. It secures their game. They can go Roshan with the Beastmaster plus Troll. Gives them a bit more fight. And yeah, if you ever lock on to the Morphling in that kind of 1v1 duel, a good route at the right time, it can go work wonders for you. Oh, they actually go for the Wraith King. Okay.
No
pretty good tankiness.
No longer.
Veno's up. Yeah.
It just doesn't deal with the skeletons. I do like Pangolier here though. Pangolier seems really nice.
Collapse has not yet played Pango this DPC season. Now list up all the different heroes that are still cool. Legion Commander, CK, Underlord, Grimstroke.
Okay, Underlord.
Getting better.
Abaddon, Bloodseeker, Prophet.
I like Underlord the most out of those.
Yeah.
And this one you're probably not gonna like, Sand King.
The hit, like Sand King is like proper hit and miss.
That's if the elders are still in the pool.
If you get
doesn't really lane with Tusk very well.
No. Like Underlord for sure sounds self-sufficient, sounds pretty well. Plays into Beastmaster. I'd like to see a hero that can provide a bit more fight than sustain.
I mean, I'm sure that he would play Pango as well. This is a very small sample size, of course. Series.
That's true. 17 seconds left from Team Spirit. collapse. Come on, buddy. I need your hero.
You do.
Unless it's some Grim offlane and they're going to bring something brand new to the...
Actually, it could be. I mean, I did mention Grim in that, but it's Night Stalker. That is something brand new.
I don't know if I like this hero as like a strong power last pick.
Okay.
Because Wraithkin going into mid to late game, you never feel happy going on him because, of course, 2 lives. The good lockdown of Beastmaster and the vision advantage you get from Beastmaster often plays well into Night Stalker. You always have that BKB piercing roar to kind of remove the Night Stalker threat. But it is very good again, getting on top of Void Spirit, Lion, and Death Prophet. But yeah, it's very much a tempo-driven draft from Team Spirit, and they will be the aggressors, punishing the kind of the AFK nature that Unique did have in game 1. So I don't mind it for that aspect, but it isn't the best for a core-to-core matchup.
No. Update also, Brian. Thoughts on the draft, keeping in mind that the Void Spirit is position 4 this time around. Death Prophet will be going mid.
Yeah.
Line
they
5.
needed control. They needed AoE clear on their last pick, and they picked Night Stalker. So at least that's what I envisioned with the draft. And I think this Night Stalker pick on paper to me makes absolutely 0 sense. So I'm going to go for Team Unique here based on the fact that I think their tempo is going to be way too fast. Wraith King will be able to free farm bottom once he gets enough points up in the skeletons. Beastmaster, if he gets to that Necro Bucket, even a remotely decent timing. Plus the Death Prophet that you said got rotated to a core position, so there's even more mid-game pressure. Yeah. I think it's going to be overwhelming. I think it's impossible for Team Unique to not do something for 4 minutes.
We'll see about that indeed. High expectations from Brian here. Does credit the draft from Team Unique this game. Do you agree?
I still think though, think about the Night Stalker one more time. It is a high armor hero.
Yeah.
So against Wraith King and the idea of Wraith King for laning phase, few offlaners enjoy playing into that kind of type of hero. So I think they'll fare well there. It's just after that point, after lane phase, he has to have so many good plays, but he will soon fall off and just become like the support killer. And that often doesn't win you games, especially when the supports that he's playing into aren't safe. You're not removing a big component of your enemy. So it is an interesting pick. And if it works well, why not? It's great to see a new hero coming into play, but I think this is a rare chance that Unique can easily win this game. I think their draft is superior if they can execute the timings well and do something aggressive instead of farming for 20.
All they need to do is execute the drafts. How hard can it possibly be? Let's find out together with the commentary duo of ODPixel and Kyle.
Thank you very much, CBS Game 2 here between Unique and Spirit. And, we sort of heard some of the discussions around that last pick, this Night Stalker. Some both sides, Carl. Where do you sort of stand on this? A hero that we don't see a lot, but coming in as the last pick here for Spirit's offlane.
Hit or miss. The trouble I have is that while I like the hero, I actually think it's got really poor matchups in the game. I think the panel was talking about how Wraith King can deal with it. I actually think Beastmaster does as well. The birds for vision kind of negate the effect of the vision advantage Night Stalker provides during darkness. However, you also do limit the bird vision when you pop darkness. So it's cool, but it's not the same as when it wasn't active. So Night Stalker previously was when it was just a much longer lasting darkness and was more about the map control, was better against Beastmaster. In addition, I mean, it's DP Beast, Wraith King. Like, these are 3 of the best 3 cores at their positions throughout this entire season.
For sure. I mean,
on one team.
But the thing is, sort of Brian said, you sort of agree that looking at it this time, Unique absolutely are going to try and achieve more in those sort of first 15 minutes of play after that they are going to be going for these.
I really hope. It isn't quite as simple unless the Beast gets off to a good start. The one downside is that your top lane is relatively weak. Lion Beast against Morphling and Stroke, I would imagine. So you're going to be in this scenario where level 3, level 4, you get a couple of Wraith bands up, and all of a sudden Morph gets every last hit. In fact, different change of plans. He's going to be rushing Falcon Blade. He already started with a fluffy hat. I wish I had a fluffy.
Well, yeah, so we have seen some morphs do this. I mean, do you like it? Would you lean the way of the Falcon Blade or the 2 Wraith band? Which way would you be going?
Honestly, no idea. But I want to discuss the upside down map we're looking at. Did you know that if you hung upside down for a couple of days, eventually your brain would normalize the image and you would start to see right side up again?
I don't think that's true.
I'm not sure it is either.
No, you definitely.
But I definitely read that.
Well, for a start, if you hung yourself upside down.
What? Why?
Well, the blood would rush to your brain. If you were like hanging yourself upside down for 2 days, you would be dead. I don't think you'd live. Would you live?
I think so.
I do not think you could survive that. That sounds very bad idea. Carl is right. I'm getting it. But what? It does. Is it not bad to be upside down? Apparently not.
Okay.
Don't go doing it. Do not go doing it. It's probably good for you.
You shouldn't remain upside down.
Yeah. But it doesn't
for more than a few minutes at a time. Falling asleep in this
It
position.
definitely must cause like damage to your brain.
Yes, it could result in a danger to your health and even death.
Okay.
But if you did, and if you survived, yes, you could also get mirror glasses if you want to do a safer way, which make you see things upside down, which over time, a couple of days, suddenly you would need them to see properly.
That then sounds like that's a fun test to put those sort of mirror glasses on. And does it really have an effect like that? You're saying if you live your life with these glasses that are turning the world upside down?
Yeah. Takes a week.
1 week of wearing these glasses. Is there any sort of benefit to doing that?
I'm trying. Okay, is there a benefit to seeing the world upside down
but
when
correctly.
you're anatomically, proper and standing straight?
Is there a benefit?
I'm not sure. Trying to think.
It would mean
you'd be able to see things from a different perspective. You could be like a business consultant.
It takes 1 week to revert it back, though.
Yeah.
So, but if you do this with glasses, switching the world upside down,
it's an interesting exercise.
If you lose those glasses for a week, you're going to have a pretty... Well, I guess you have to do it anyway to train yourself to get back to normal. Actually, this doesn't sound like a very fun experiment. You're messing with your perception of reality.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting, though? That reality is just based on your perception, your perspective.
I mean, what else is it based on? No, nobody's telling you how to interpret everything around you. That's natural, isn't it?
One of my two go-to questions if you're bored at a party, discussion starts to get in weather or something. Okay. One is not safe for work. The second, is reality objective or subjective? See what people say? There's no right answer.
Well, there is.
What is it?
It's objective. Absolutely.
Some people would disagree.
Well, they'd be wrong. And then them being wrong in itself, and me thinking that they're wrong, is proof of itself is.
That's true, I think.
Because I think they're wrong and they think they're not.
How long did we have to watch from this angle before we started to see Dota?
Oh, we're actually back to the normal angle. We've just been watching long enough to...
It's been a while, this pause, eh?
Here we go. The game begins. The players are ready to go. As overall, talk about the Knights, talk about overall. Do you have a preference here in this game too? Are we going to see a game 3, or I think?
Hard to say. I'm leaning 2-0 just because I think they're playing so much better, but we'll see. Unique's draft is much simpler to execute. In a way, Spirits is too, but it involves the morphling being enormous, and Yatoro scares me.
Okay. No, you think that this lad on the morph, it's... like, you look at the heroes, you feel that he's the most reliable hero to carry this game, more so than, say, Palantimos on the Wraith King this time around?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you say if we see some sort of messy game, the morph's going to be the one that comes out on top.
I will say, really strange, Yatoro went all the way back to base, so they actually only get the bounties bottom, which they shouldn't because it was 2-on-1, but Unique didn't go for those, and they could have got the top one for sure, and potentially even gone for kills had they kept 3, but oh well. Mira will be bottom with the Night Stalker. This will be a tough lane. Not really, actually. Void Spirit 5. I don't even know what's a tough lane. Ember versus DP, a little bit DP favored, but already off to a good start.
Yeah, and you do like these two heroes this way around in this sort of game, having the DP mid and the Void Spirits the 5 rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I like the Void Spirit 5, but I like the Death Prophet core. I think it's just the best mid right now. And when it's put to 5, it should only be... It's like when Puck was done. It's like, oh, you really don't want to... You're dealing with this hero? Okay, it's our 5.
but baseline should be.
This pleases me to
See how much pressure collapse can put on in this lane. Set up a mirror.
Ouch.
Getting a fair bit of damage done here to Bignum. Be the case anytime he gets close enough. Tusk to turn. Top lane, yatoro.
That is not a good start. That's the power of the Beastmaster going for those axes. He spammed 2 of them. 3 of them, rather. So a lot of heavy damage put out. But yatoro, he's a Morphling, so give me a salve. I shift all the way to agility, and I'll be A-okay. Bottom is hilarious to watch, by the way, because it's just 4 melee heroes just running in circles around each other trying to blast it. There's no elegance to this. It's just brawling.
I mean, who wins out in this sort of lane setup? Is it sort of the Tusk tipping the edge with the tag team benefit in this sort of melee situation?
In a bar fight, definitely Team Spirit. I would not want to cross Night
Dire's
Stalker,
courier
especially
has been killed.
after sunset, but I think for the first couple of levels, Wraith King Void have the advantage just because that Resonant Pulse is so effective in terms of trading. Because you just
Tank.
extra free damage shield.
Top lane Slayer. To get away, he's been doing his job. He's already sniped 2 couriers on that top lane. And bottom, get the grab here on Mirror. Snowball, but they've got the damage. First blood will end up going the way of Palantimos. He's the one to pick it up.
Yeah, that's the other benefit. With Pulse, they actually shove the lane as well. Wraith King Skeletons do the same. So you've got this huge wave going into Dire. You can't really play aggressive. And let's be real, Night Stalker, not the greatest in terms of early laning prowess. And you notice the fear Grimstroke now feeling goes all the way back to the tier 2 for his courier, just in case. And he gets the ward too. Oh, nice. So he knew there must be a vision.
Yeah, from all these courier snipes that Slayer's been doing up there.
Yeah, really well done. 3 sentries placed, 1 to block the hard camp as well. But I think it's worth it. I mean, you're going to invest wards anywhere. Do it for Yatoro's lane, but not the greatest start thus far for the Morph. In fact, oh yeah, he's got stick. Never mind.
Now we look at mid. Seeing Pikachu get a bit of an edge. 40 for 7 against the 10 for 3.
Yep. All going to come down to the rune, as it often does. The bottle will be up for the Ember Spirit. Double null chosen by Pikachu. So it's effectively just you get the lane advantage, and then the rune equalizes, or it means that Death Prophet now has a big edge because you invested so much in stats, and the extra bottle charge plus benefit doesn't matter anymore. Although, thought he might man up there, and only 1 drain remaining. Fortunately, the RNG is lost, and it's a regen.
That's a nice one here for Pikachu.
All the runes.
Has he got a slight to cancel this? He does, so gonna lose a bit of the benefit there, Pikachu.
Toro's very peeved with Slayer, who continues to stun and mana drain him. Look out his courier, the one. Miposhka doing what he can to try and help out his core. So far, even lane. Bottom, still brawling. Lanes have become somewhat tedious over this last patch, it feels like. Unless there's a tri-lane, it's just pretty much dueling over creep waves and pulls. Not necessarily targeting heroes. More courier casualties thus far this series before 5 minutes in heroes.
See, around these 5-minute runes, Palantimos a big one. They'll be able to set up.
Money changes hands.
Cure theirs. And in fact, overall, looks like Unique will be able to take 3 of the 4 here at 5 minutes in.
Mid is a disaster. My God, Pikachu's putting in work right now. Again, that regen rune forces Ember back to base. He went for the bottle rush, but when you don't get the rune, suddenly it's like, wait, I have 0 Wraith Bands against 2 nulls. And you just simply can't contest the last. It's 86 damage on the Death Prophet. Only 69 on the Ember.
Get a second kill down here on this bottom lane. We are starting to see this Void Spirit Wraith King just being able to take down Mirror quite easily. Being rather hard for the Tusk to have an impact down, and maybe things will change now with the night time. The way that they team together, Mirror and Collapse. Timos and Bignum off to a good start here. Farm for the Wraith King in lane. minute. Power in. That's going to be down bottom. As you can see, the ghost come out from Pikachu.
Nice job by the Ember Spirit. Pulls it away, and he's going to get the Arcane Rune. Better hurry.
Bignum coming in.
6.
He isn't. He's going to have to follow the Hex. They've got the burst. He's able to take him down. They're going to look to try and chase down TORONTOTOKYO as well. And Pikachu, he's going to be able to find this kill. Running down the task. 2 kills. Now the mid lane DP that was already just starting to really crush the lane.
He also gave away the ward since he snowballed to that camp. No way he would have had vision, so you saw Bignum ping it out, and yeah, there you go. 2 kills and a ward. Gone. And that's a 2-level advantage as well, still, for middle. I mean, this is nuts.
Your anger is
very, very good start this game. I mean, overall, unique up 4-0, 2K lead at 7 minutes in. Now, go so. Play much safer in this mid lane. Again, kind of like
pressured. Oh my god.
See, Slayer try and get in on this. The X-12 was already out, and Slayer, he should die for this one. Nice dodge at the stun from yatoro, secures the kill. TP coming over from Mirror. Team Spirit, they're going to try for some more action in. Snowballing across, Bignum, he's jumping towards yatoro. Let's see if Bignum's got enough damage to take him down. He has. He's able to find him.
I mean, if only he had mangoes, he would have had a roar there too, but just the necro books and a couple boars are enough. You can't fight into the creep army, and yatoro just straight up not realizing the power level, but it had just been delivered. And yeah, as you can see, quite fast as well. Collapse the X Factor. The bottom lane is going well. You are winning it on the NS. You are the top net worth on your team. What does Night Stalker do? The last pick of the draft. We will hopefully find out soon, but so far Collapse content to just camp the lane and farm. And maybe time to get active here. There is no ultimate skilled, but the point is saved for Palantimos, so maybe you get it once, TORONTOTOKYO, but I don't know if you're actually going to be able to finish him off. In fact, he's just leaving the lane. DPL back up in 10 seconds, Invis rune ready. We have to do a full lane switch here. Nobody can stand against the Beastmaster. Next Necro Book, that tier 1 top probably dies.
I mean, when you look at the lineup and you see this Night Stalker, like, who do you think Collapse is going to be going for? You know, in these sort of fights, who's going to really struggle with a Night Stalker just being on top of them?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's a good question. I don't really want to be up close and personal with any of these heroes.
No, no.
The mischance isn't skilled up just yet.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Wait, oh my gosh, it doesn't even give mischance anymore. I forgot.
Silence, right?
So yeah, it's so. Who do you? Let's say Beastmaster Necros are up or Ghosts are out. You don't want to be near any of this. Like you just die.
Here we go, mid lane. Ghosts are up. Yenny, they're in, and they'll get a kill. Mirror, it's gone. yatoro, he's got to be a little careful. Any sort of catch onto him, they'll dive for that. As they'll take this tower, nothing to be done to put a stop to it. As yatoro, he's actually going to turn into the DP. Ooh, that was risky. That was risky. yatoro getting rather low. Pikachu trying to burst in the Siphons, keeping Pikachu alive. Collapse is moving in, but Pikachu is just able to turn Siphon the Night Stalker, and that's going to keep Pikachu alive. Collapse can't finish the kill.
What a hero. I mean, that, you know, they learned their lesson, right? We gave them a lot of grief. Hey, guys, you had a big lead. Go kill that mid tower, please. Unique have listened. They collapsed before 10 minutes, and now 5-man to the bounty runes.
And it's because what it is sort of these sort of moves that you feel that they could have started to try for in game 1.
Oh yeah, they were in a similar position. This one's definitely better. Their lanes went very well, but they certainly had the opportunity in the previous game. And now it's just like, well, what do I do as Night Stalker? I have no Dark Ascension for 100 seconds. It's daytime. The sun burns me. We're 5k down. And I'm a Night Stalker.
I mean, he's the most farmed on the team. So they've got to expect something to come out from Collapse on this hero. We're going for that blink to get the jump on top of heroes.
I mean, no one. I mean, yatoro's item build actually boggles my mind. Like, he started with the items build up for Fluffy Hat and still has them. I have never seen a morph skip all build-up items unless they were absolutely dominating, right? Maybe go, I don't know, some kind of no boots, no item Blinkins or whatever, like we used to see in the past.
Down bottom. They're up. They're able to get the snowball off, but still going to die. 7-1, 5k lead. Unique. They are really really taking over this game early.
Oh my, wait, Todd? Oh, I thought he was dead in the crit if he got one more attack off.
Yatoro did go down. Slayer's able to walk up and blow him up. Okay, that wasn't even with a finger, right? That was... Oh, it was with the finger. It was, yeah. He just walks up and he's able to find the opportunity to burst them off with the finger. We caught a little glimpse of it there in that one frame. There we have it. We saw it. We didn't miss the kill. We don't miss the kills here. We got it.
I don't want to say this game's over. However, did you ever see Underworld?
What?
Underworld, the movie. Kate Beckinsale, vampires.
Isn't that the Valve game?
What? That's Undertale.
That's Underlords.
Underlords, yes.
Yeah, Underlords. But no, not Underlords. Underworld.
There's a scene in like the third movie where they lock this vampire in a room where the sun's coming up. That's what this game feels like.
Oh, here we go, though.
But they pop darkness.
They're going in. They're over to Ghostik. Ghostik, he turns to get the roar off onto the Night Stalker. They're moving straight over towards Collapse. They're bringing the Void Spirit down low. Soulbind out to the two of them. They've taken out two of them, but Pikachu's still alive and good to go with the Exorcism. He's running straight towards Yatoro. Yatoro shifting into strength, but it's a lot of damage here from these ghosts. Yatoro, could he get away? He's got another waveform, makes it out just in time, away from the Impale, but he can't get himself out of the reach of Pikachu's. Pikachu just dives in and takes a second kill.
Yeah, Death Prophet Core is a completely different animal in comparison to the port that we witnessed earlier. Big Necro unit, so that's a happy days, but yeah, Pikachu is just rocking it right now. He'll have a Yule's finish. Yeah. I love the phase boots, double null, the wand, like utilizing all the slots. I think a lot of Death Prophets have kind of just gone for this, you know, bots rush or you know, single null into brown boots Yules, and I'm not a huge fan. This hero's so strong. You almost always get the 30 damage talent at level 10, and it's just something you want to have these early stats on. It's just so strong.
Illusion.
And the Spell Amp also, I believe, increases the amount of damage healed as well on your drains.
No, I don't think so. Right, because I don't think the Spell Amp increases the map. Oh, no, actually it would. No, you're right. No, it would. It would.
Yeah.
It still increases it. Yeah, you're right. TORONTOTOKYO. Oh, he's been met with a bit of a nasty surprise here.
Fire is quenched.
Ghostik lays down the raw, and they're just cleaning up kills. It's 11-3, 7k lead.
It's just it's actually sick when you consider how much value they get out of the support duo. There's so much lockdown and catch potential. And then Ghostik is just like, hello, I have Necro 3 and Roar, and no other items needed. You know, Quelling Blade, a salve to keep myself full HP if needed.
Yeah. I mean,
this hero is so good.
Yeah, and it's a really good tri-core draft, right? Like, how many times have we seen this be successful? Beastmaster, Wraith King, Death Prophet. Yeah. That's got to be one of those three sets of heroes that when a draft has those three in, that the win rate's probably pretty good.
If you were to write a book about the metas of Dota 2, this unique draft would be pretty good as an example of what was good. Because you even have the early Death Prophet Void Spirit pick, of which one was Flex the 5.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just the script. You know, this is what is it? What is the Horatio Alger, the myth? The hero's myth? There's some book about it. The Hero's Journey. That's what it is, but it's not Alger. I don't know where that came from. You know what that is?
I don't read books.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wow. Top lane. Tower's been taken. They're getting a bit of a beating onto the tier 1 bottom, but Ghostik, he's taking a tier 2, and they're taking Roshan. Roshan and a tier 2 tower here at 15 minutes. It does seem like it's possibly just going to be a bit too much for Spirit this game. 9k lead for Unique. Very early on. And they've got an Aegis on a Wraith King. And he's really fighting. He's building for the moment as well. Armlet into straight S and Y.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Blink is done on Collapse.
Dire's middle tower.
But we'll see if that makes a difference on what he's able to offer as the Night Stalker in these fights. So, of course, getting as well just this very awkward morph build, going for the Lincolns desperately, as you say, with no build-up items, not even a Yasha on the way up, just straight kind of fluffy hat circlet into Lincoln. So it's going to be a lot of time before this morph is going to pose any sort of threat.
a very long time, Owen, and that is quite concerning when you consider how easy Unique's draft abuses it. They already have that tier 2 top and the outpost control. It is 16 minutes into the game. They are 10,000 gold ahead. Effectively, if they fight anywhere and they are 5, they will win it. Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet. No ulti for a bit, trying to save it. But look at that. I mean, this is a 5-man smoke. It is nighttime, and they are running away from Pikachu. Perhaps afraid he will evolve, but no, it is his teammates circling in from the side. The smoke is prepared. They scan out. They know there's got to be something in the area, as mid and top were pushed in with no response. And it will be a Lincoln's rush on Yatoro. Good lord. He is, it is a 50-50. Like, this is as close to a 50-50 player as I have seen since you-know-who. Because this is not the build. You are so far behind, and this item will do absolutely nothing for you in the upcoming team fight. And it also doesn't save you from numerous forms of disable, notably the AoE silence of the Death Prophet. And here they go.
Grab it. Not going to be able to get on top of Miposhka and TORONTOTOKYO.
We take oh my goodness.
Dude, look at this. Look at this, dude. Slayer. He's found it, and he's got it. They didn't even need the roar. They didn't even need the roar. Slayer had it on his own, pretty much. He had it on his own. As bottom, Mirror trying to get the two of them out of here with a snowball. Jumping collapse. He's in on top of the Death Prophet. It will manage to bring down Pikachu. Finally able to get that big kill. The question is, can they get anything more though? TORONTOTOKYO. He's caught in the combo. He's taken out by the two of them. Palantimos not even losing the reincarnate. He's still got that good to go. Slayer starting a setup here onto another. Ghostik swings around, and they've got enough damage of the two of them. They haven't. Miposhka will live.
Man, I have just... These two teams feel like they've traded concepts, because even this Night Stalker, a blink first...
Not a fan?
No damage. Your Morph isn't going for damage either. How do you kill anything? Death Prophet has effectively 2 lives because of the amount of healing. Wraith King has 3 lives. I don't want to call it. Well, I'm pretty sure Unique will win this game.
I mean, it's at 98%. Would you be raising that to the 99 and 100, or you're comfortable with 98?
I would legitimately run around this building completely nude twice if they do not win this game. And nobody, thank God the stream is delayed, nobody message anybody. But that is how certain I am that they've got this in the bag. All they've got to do is chill.
I mean, you never know in these games. They do have a morph. Yatoro. I think there's still a chance Yatoro can do this. The morph, 1 bad fight from Unique. Okay, maybe give that 2 bad fights from Unique. And this morph could take over.
They've just done all the little things right this game on Unique. Like, the items are coming online. You've got the Aether Lens. Yep, BKB next on the Death Prophet. He'll have that soon. Void Spirit has the Vessel, which is like the epitome of anti-morph. Sajin Yash on Palantimos just for a little bit of extra status resist. Like, they've checked all the boxes. They have Ward Vision. They have all the towers. They're going to get 4 bounties in both outposts in 20 minutes. What more can you ask them to do here?
Palantimos, he's just walking in.
Hello.
He's just running at him.
Oh my goodness, that was a dead Miposhka. Yeah, but they want the runes though. It was all a show of force and then to cure the area.
BD rune as well. They do lose the Aegis. Comes to an end here for Palantimos. He's level 12. Very, very farm.
Yep, they're just waiting for BKBs because look at Night Stalker with BKBs online. He doesn't silence, he doesn't really do damage. Ember Spirit, same deal. Morphling, yeah, you have a Lincoln. We're not afraid of yours. So all you need is the BKBs, and then you run at the enemies, and it looks like they may be ready to do just that. Both coming out on couriers as we speak.
That's a pretty high level as well on the Death Prophet right now for Pikachu. Everyone else is sort of level 12 with the max. He's nearly level 16 on the Death Prophet. Oh, what's going on here? Another smoke and hide. They're going to try and fight Collapse. He's jumping in with the blink. But the Void Spirit's away. He's been roared. They're turning towards Collapse. Collapse, can he get out of there? Whoa! He's going to get taken down. The summons, it's too much as he blinks into his own death. And now Team Spirit, they've just got to run. The Remnant grabs onto the Morphling, they're moving in onto Yatoro, they break through the Lincolns, and they've got the damage to burn through the Morphling. Take him out, he's gone. They just can't put a fight together right now, Spirit. Not at all, they're down 15k.
It's just nothing you can do. Oh, and the BKB's the only core without one, has status resist and an extra life. You just don't have items. Ember has a Yules, Night Stalker, or a Blink. Like that's not enough nowadays. And it does look like we shall have a even series, you know? 21 minutes in, a lot easier than the previous game. This is what Unique's game 1 could have looked like had they been willing to play with this much aggression. But it is certainly easier with a Necro 3 offlaner. And also, I think this is a game where Ghostik can step up and handle more of the shot calling, because he's actually the one responsible for killing the buildings. As Tide, it's pretty much all based around your allies. Where are they? Are they ready to link? It's a lot more complex to make things happen around the map.
Top Slayer, close to picking up his Blink Dagger gold. Ghostik, he's closing in on it. TORONTOTOKYO's got to be careful. Slayer's on the hunt. He's away. Incredible lead here. Another the fastest timing here on the Red King. That SNY coming out quicker than you're used to seeing it. I mean, obviously not, is a bit of a different build-up from Palantimos, but definitely one that suits suited for this game. And why into the heart, he's going to be very, very tanky, and it's pretty much all magical. You know, you're not seeing a lot of physical, a lot of crit potential. You know, there's nothing like that. So it's just raw HP is going to render him pretty much invincible. Yep. You're not going to be able to bring this Wraith King down with what Spirit have, as you say, with just the lack of damage build-up going for them.
I really like the way they're playing this too. It's a typical Radiant finisher. Just camp this triangle, farm Ancients, cut bottom wave, kill mid wave. They have a ward for top as well, so you effectively control the entire map. Wait for Roche, and yep, plant a courier in it. If they saw what we saw, they'd probably feel confident just ending the game right now, but no reason to rush. If you're Unique, this is a must-win scenario. So chill. Wait for Aegis, or wait for them to leave their base, which they are doing now. I don't know if I would recommend this.
Palantimos. He's leading in. He's going to be able to get through that Lincolns. They go for the ball. They'll be able to burst through TORONTOTOKYO. Decide they have the roar down onto the Grim. As the buybacks will come out here from Spirit. But what can they do with these? TORONTOTOKYO trying to get in on this, but they turn. They put the Hex straight away onto the Ember. As that's going to be a dieback from TORONTOTOKYO. He's out of the game for good. As Unique will step up, and with the Ghost still coming from Pikachu, they can bring down the tier 3 and start to threaten another set of Rats Collapse. He's blinking in. They're trying to burst through this Death Prophet. Can they do it? They can. They'll bring Pikachu down this time with the full combo, but they're going to lose heroes for it. They turn towards Mirror, bring down the Tusk. See if they do back up, though. Without the Death Prophet, without the Exorcism, they do lack a fair bit of their pushing power. They will. They'll retreat. But still Unique pushing further and further ahead. The full heart now delivered to Palantimos. And 3 buybacks having to come out from Spirit to try and stall Unique.
They actually would have killed the Morph there. That was a nice play. They canceled the Wraith King stun 2 or 3 times. Yatoro was kind of playing with them. But then the Beastmaster Necrobook ranged unit Q proc Lincoln's immediate Wraith King stun. But the Grimstroke slow prevented the follow-up roar. The BKB came out a bit too late. But either way, they kill what? 3 heroes plus 4, I guess. Ember dies twice. The game's like,
well,
look
the
at
game's
Ember's
still
network.
very, very comfortable.
I will up my ante. 3 laps.
3 laps.
4 laps around the building. No shoes either.
I mean,
and there's gravel everywhere.
I think the Dota Plus is probably giving this a 100 now. Oh, it's not quite there, but definitely on the edge. As this game, as it has been for really most part of it, Unique getting a very solid lead very early on and not letting it slip one bit. A much more impressive showing from them here in comparison to that game 1 where they just took a little too long to get things started.
Do you think this would have been a better game for them if they were playing Dota upside down?
No, what do you mean?
Like the mirror glasses, would those have helped?
No, what are you on about? Imagine how sort of hand-eye coordination, moving the mouse around. It'd be terrible. Terrible.
I'm left-handed. I never realized this, but I actually suffer from a competitive disadvantage because I use a right-handed mouse.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true.
Dire's
What do
middle
you mean?
tower
Like,
is
if you're
under
used
attack.
to using a right-handed mouse with your left hand, then how would you even know it was any worse for you? And if you knew it was worse for you, you would have used the left-handed mouse in the first place. Now, obviously, the fact that you didn't.
They don't exist.
Yeah, they do. You absolutely can go. Like, you can buy everything online. I'm sure a left-handed mouse would exist.
What is the strangest thing you've ever bought online, Owen?
I don't really buy too much things online. I just buy, gadgets, nothing exciting. I once bought a mobile phone that was also a pullback car. Didn't work. It's pretty neat. You like
car or the phone?
It was like the phone element of it. The car bit worked.
So you bought a Hot Wheels?
Yeah, but it had a phone in the bottom, so you picked up the car to like racing it, and it would have a phone in the bottom. It was amazing.
But the phone doesn't work.
It didn't work. No, it turned on, but it didn't do anything.
Maybe it wasn't connected.
It was only about a tenner from a site that took about 2 years to ship it.
Is under attack.
All right.
There we go. From behind. He's going to make it with a jump. The roar comes out. And they're trying to bring down the Void Spirit, but the VKB's up from Pikachu and Ghostik. They just stand their ground, take down the Night Stalker. They'll run down Mirror. Mirror falls over in the trees. They've caught TORONTOTOKYO. But by some time with the Eels, he comes back down. Palantimos, he's ready with the crit. TORONTOTOKYO's out. Yatoro's gone as well. And as this should be the final cleanup. There's no coming back. As GG is cool. Unique take game 2. About half the length of the game 1 victory from Spirit. As this game 2 unique. This is what you expect from this sort of lineup. They played it perfectly. They left no chance for Spirit to ever get their game on in the same way that they did allow Spirit in game 1, where they gave room for this Wraith King to build up. This time around, that didn't happen. And for Spirit, some